Hey, it's the Bennington Show. On a Thursday, I'm Ron Bennington. There's Gail Bennington.
Yo.
I'm Ron Bennington. Start off with a little Fleetwood Mac, a song that they're barely awake for. Here's another thing. I've heard a lot of thunder when it wasn't raining. Mm-hmm. So I can't get behind this song.
As a Floridian, heat lightning, it happens.
Yes.
Thunder, no rain.
Do you get thunder off of heat lightning?
I think you do, don't you?
Now I felt like a crazy person because I'd never really thought,
I mean, can you have lightning without... can you have thunder with...
Yes, I believe you can. At least...
lightning without thunder.
And thunder without lightning. Because I've heard thunder before without seeing lightning. This song needs a little work, lyrically. But doesn't that just sound like, I don't know, like a band that just woke up and is just kind of playing?
Guys, we just need you to put a little more effort. It's a great song, but...
every once in a while I forget that I like Fleetwood Mac because you hear them so much that you're not paying attention. You know what I mean? And then if you take a moment, you're like, oh, good little band.
Yeah. When I saw them live, I was really looking forward to it because I love them, but I didn't realize that I was going to freak out at every song they played. Yeah. Like, God. That thing that happens like a couple times during a concert? It happened nonstop. Like every time they started a song, everyone was like, holy shit, another one I love.
Yeah.
Like, it's too much.
Well, there's certain bands, because of the exact time that they came out, they got like a 40-year run off of classic rock radio. You know what I mean? Like, it's so unexpected. And if you put out an album around 76, 77, it's getting played as much today on classic rock as it did in 76 or 77.
Yeah, because like the mid to late 80s began that. That's only a very short break that you're like, oh, we're sick of this song. You know what I mean? Between the song coming out, like mid to late 80s, you're already like nostalgic for it.
Yeah, but what I mean is those songs played on the radio and just never went off those stations. Probably Led Zeppelin is the fucking the giant of that whole thing of never coming off the fucking radio at all, ever. Not like a day. Like there was no point that you could even get nostalgic about Led Zeppelin because you hear them as much now as you did in 73. And I don't know what it is, why they decided, okay, it isn't so much the 60s and it isn't the 80s, it's the 70s. Those bands just got played forever. And that's why the Eagles, when they finally got back together after 20 years off, the audience had no, the audience was still there, just fucking standing there for like 20 some years. And
even beyond like nostalgia or just growing up with the music, they keep making Led Zeppelin fans. Like there's still little Led Zeppelin fans being born every day.
Yes. Led Zeppelin and the Doors are the fans that when every boy turns 13, he discovers it. Like the same time he discovers his own cock for something other than pissing, he discovers this.
There's the Doors album underneath it.
Yes. You reach down and you grab your dick and there's a fucking Soft Parade is right there. All right, John wants to teach us about thunder.
Okay.
Look, I only want to know about one thunder, and that's Johnny's. Johnny Thunders is John, teach us about thunder, would you?
Yes, thunder is caused by the lightning heating up the air molecules and them hitting together, and that's what causes thunder. You don't need rain for thunder; you just need lightning.
But can you have lightning without thunder? Like, does it? Sometimes it doesn't.
You could see the lightning because sound only travels at like 600, feet per second. So you could see lightning 80 miles away and not hear the thunder.
Remember when you were a kid and you would count after you saw the lightning? That was like the biggest fucking thing. It was like,
and you could get an approximate. You could get an approximate on where that lightning was by doing that.
Now, but you never have lightning without thunder.
If there's thunder, then there was a lightning that could be clouds.
Right, but is there lightning without thunder?
Quiet lightning is what we're looking for.
That's my nickname, quiet lightning.
If you were so far away that the sound would be dissipated, you could see lightning like 90 miles or 100 miles away, like when you're in an airplane. You'll never hear it, but you'll see it flashing out there in the distance.
You know what? You're going into the pretty good prize closet, Mr. Science. You're the Mr. Science today. Enjoy yourself. Tomorrow we got a cool prize that we're giving away, that Paul Schaefer Unmasked poster. And I like those things. Who gets those? Vito's? Mm-hmm. Vito's, is that your thing during the Unmasked now?
After the Unmasked, I've run up with.
I like it because it's unique and it's giant, and I just wonder where's someone going to put it in their house. Right. Like, I don't know. I'm going to put it in the laundry room.
This is pretty good and pretty big.
Yeah.
Both.
It's a great prize.
I don't know.
I would love it personally.
Well, you like bobbleheads. You like everything stupid.
I love bobbleheads.
I don't know why people want to junk up their home with toys. Like, I saw that Greg Stone, how many toys he collects. I'm like, that makes me a little claustrophobic. You only have so much room. And like, oh, these are all my different trains. I don't know.
Well, you're a very Spartan man. You like and then you like a modern style too. Like, don't you kind of like a modern, sleek, not too many baubles around the house?
I'm going to tell you the truth. I don't know what I like. If I had to be, like, I think I could be in a glass house just as easy as an Art Deco house. I never even go into the hotel room and go, this is nice. I just don't do that. Oh, this is nice. Look at this. You got a little place. You got a little place that I could put my bag. I honestly think people sound mentally ill as they go around a room and announce everything. Oh, look at this. It's got little chairs for us if we want. This is a place I could put peanut butter crackers right here. I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. It's just a room. It's a table. I don't know if I could live in a log cabin. None of it bothers me. And none of it overly excites me. I guess I wouldn't like if it was just concrete slabs. I would be like, this is uncomfortable.
It's just not warm in here.
So anyway, we, through science today, proved Fleetwood Mac wrong. That when they say thunder only happens when it's raining.
They're lying.
Do, 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 do. Did the video that you sent into the iBang about the cat giving the dog a whooping is so funny to me, because that when that woman starts to try to save her dog by swinging it around, I mean, I could understand how an animal lover would be furious with that, but it's still funny.
I can't believe the way, like, even if your reaction was, oops, I reacted too strongly, and now I pulled my dog up by its leash, but the length of time in which she does this.
Look, she's just swinging. You didn't see this, Chris? The way you feel now.
Look, Chris.
And then look at this. She abandons the dog and runs.
Like, why does she fear this cat? Like, I understand why the dog is afraid, but why is she not afraid of a cat?
She's the worst pet owner known to man.
That is the absolute worst.
What a shithead.
Oh my God. Why is she doing this?
It's the fucking stupidest, funniest thing I've ever seen. And that dog skidding across the sidewalk when she lets go of it, like it was, what's that thing? It was like that they would have, like, it was like in the Olympics. Maybe is it the hammer throw where
where they
twirl?
Spin in a circle and then
That's what she's doing. That fucking dog must feel like a moron.
That is the worst. I mean, this chick is...
Look at that thing skid across the sidewalk once it lands. I wonder what neighborhood this is, too.
Why would she do this? I can't believe how many times she spins around. And all she has to do is reach down and hold the dog. You know what I mean? Like, literally, just put the dog in your arms.
She didn't care about that dog anymore. She was just worried about herself and that goddamn cat.
Hey, let's retweet Tim Dillon's tweet when he brings up everybody that's going to be at the stand tonight. It's a really good show. A lot of our friends are there. I'm going to be there tonight at the stand.
Nice.
And then throughout the weekend. as we get ready to go to Austin, Texas. And we're going to make an announcement in a couple moments, right?
Yes, we are, about the next Unmasked.
I told everybody this. Don't tell me. I know the 5 finalists we have for the last Unmasked spot. And all of them are, names that I want to do. But I'm like, don't tell me the actual person that we pick.
You said you wanted it to be a surprise because you were happy with all options.
I just don't like to be the person picking. It takes up too much time and people bring up dumb stuff. Like, this person would be good for that. That person would be good for this. I'm like, yes. I get like Chris when it comes to you guys picking out what kind of salad you want.
Yeah.
Thank you. You don't want to hear Unmasked Club.
I love Unmasked
Chris, my biggest problem is I don't see you fitting in with the other kids, and it kind of makes me sad as your fill-in dad. As your fill-in dad, I'd like to see you playing nice with the other kids.
Fill-in dad, I don't need to play nice with you.
We found a new place for a salad club, and the groan that Chris had when Vito was like, I found a new salad club place.
What's the story on the new salad club place?
It's this place called Little Beat. It's across the street. It's next to Melt Shop. We've all been to Melt Shop plenty of times. And then we just found out there's this healthy option next door where they make like sushi-style burritos.
Sushi-style burrito? That doesn't even make sense.
He's talking about almost like a hand roll is basically what
Well, what
he's
else
saying.
would it be besides a hand roll?
Yeah, so it's like raw fish, like salmon with like rice. It's just like a hand roll.
It's a hand roll.
Yeah.
Mine had grilled chicken and brown rice and guacamole.
Then I don't want it. I don't want grilled chicken in the middle of my sushi. That's disgusting.
Now, I had avoided the place because of the name Little Beat, because I'm such a child. I'm like, beets? Yuck. This probably has beets and everything.
So is it good?
Yeah, it was very good. Healthy option.
What did you get?
Sushi burrito.
Oh my God. I don't like the clash of that.
I just get regular burritos from a little place called Chipotle.
Yeah, but that makes you Dullsville, man.
Hey, sometimes I get a tuna fish sandwich from down the block.
Why sometimes he means 95% of the time.
Where from?
And then sometimes.
Toasties.
Is it good?
It's passable tuna fish.
You know what? I'm going to tell you the truth. Remember I got tuna fish sandwich in D.C. inside?
Yeah.
I'm still thinking about that tuna fish sandwich.
Is that good?
Yeah.
The bread was crazy fresh. Crazy fresh.
That was just before we left?
Oh, when we got there.
Right.
Oh, at the dish.
Remember when Vito made the world's biggest, giantest sandwich?
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Fucking Dagwood for himself.
It took forever.
And everybody hated him. Everybody at Sirius hated him.
Now I remember, because the lady had chicken salad.
My sandwich was great, though.
I know, but they don't want you to come back when we go back there. They asked you not to come back.
Too much meat?
Mm-hmm.
No, it's just too much time. You annoyed everybody, Vito. You annoyed everybody very much.
I'll get 2 less things next time.
What was the name of that other restaurant we went out to? That fucking place was amazing.
Founding Farmers.
Yes.
Founding Farmers. All right, let's make the Unmasked announcement. I will be learning with everybody else.
All right, so this is happening Saturday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas, all part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. The next Unmasked is Eddie Pepitone.
Whoa! That's going to be great.
I'm so excited about this one. I'm such a big Eddie Pepitone fan.
You actually go out and see him like a fan.
Yes, every time he's in the city, I try to make it out.
He doesn't come in New York much.
No, he doesn't.
He's a very much of a West Coast guy. Wow, this is exciting.
I'm thrilled about it. So
I also think he's the funniest. And you know who was saying to me, Voss was saying what an Eddie Pepitone fan he is, and he goes, you know, because I write material, but he really writes material. He really is unbelievably fucking funny, and there's there's a moral center to him
there
that most,
is.
let's face it, no comics have.
But yet also very angry.
Yes.
And still the ability to snap. Like the bitter Buddha persona that he has is hilarious, where he's
I don't think it's persona. I think it's personality.
That he's both angry and enlightened at the same time.
Well, it's, you should have righteous anger. That should be a thing that exists.
So go to the interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets. It's Saturday, April 22nd, 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas, at the Moon Tower Comedy Festival, Unmasked with Eddie Pepitone.
This makes me really happy because when you, when you're going to do two of these, right, you don't want them to be similar. At all. And this is two guys, two really different places in their life, two different personalities. So this is going to be fun. Hey, Liz says fire, but give me some white heat. Yeah, I had no idea she was an underground person.
Really?
Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. Yesterday I was down at the Comedy Cellar as part of the Comedy Cellar podcasts that went on, and there was a comic, I think it's a Ruba Rob, but I'm not sure. I just met him, and he was going to go down and do a set, and was immediately, this is 7 o'clock at night, bump for Amy Schumer.
Oh, man.
And those people were like, very, very happy and excited about it. But I mean, 7 o'clock at night, and you're going to see a movie star.
I know. You never know with that place.
And I spent some time with Mr. Jim Norton, who was doing an hour at the Fat Black Pussycat. The Underground was popping. That whole place was, it was 7 o'clock at night, and the whole place was humming.
Did you have fun on the show?
More fun than I've ever had in my life, I'm going to be totally honest. More fun ever. So that's tonight right here on Raw Dog, I think like 7 o'clock.
7 p.m., yes. Live from the table.
Yes, okay. Why did you have to say it like that?
I just want to reiterate.
Why?
Not sure.
But that is the thing with you when you do the reiteration voice instead of being Chris.
Is it a different voice people want to do that?
Yeah, you come across like I'm the Big Lebowski and you're the guy next to me. He's very happy to see you today. It's just not you. It's just not you. Well, I don't know why that. I don't know where that guy comes from.
When I give out information, I like to speak differently because usually I'm very slurred in my voice. Okay. So I want to make sure everyone gets the correct times and names out of things.
Okay, but why? I just said it myself.
That is a good point.
I don't know who that guy. There's just a different guy that shows up sometimes. Like, I wouldn't mind if you were always that guy or always the other guy.
I think I would mind, though. No. I mean, I know you're saying that, but...
Dan Natterman is the co-host of that show. Mm-hmm. And he had frozen shoulder.
What is that?
It's when you get locked up, like you have almost like a sports injury, but for no reason at all.
Oh, man.
It's something that apparently comes with middle age. For the more fragile people.
Rotator cuff?
Yeah, but there's no reason for it. Just the shoulder freezes up and stays like that for a while. And then, eventually it does go away. But because of the onlineness, Chris, I thought you got your ears cleaned out.
I did. That was,
like a habit?
It was a habit.
He put his pen in it. He just put his pen in his ear.
Now here's the thing. Is that
Came
pen
out clean, though.
Is that pen going to go into this cup?
Yes, it does.
And later then I'm going to touch it?
Those are all new pens.
No, but they all go back into, that pen's going to go back into the cup, is what was said.
Yes, it will.
Chris brought in a bag of pens from his apartment that he just had for years, I guess. And he brought them in and had to throw them all away because every single one had a yellow or gold tint on the end of it.
Oh, my God.
You could have just cleaned.
And then he asked me a week later, he goes,
That's not his job, Chris?
Dude, what you're doing is beyond fucking gross.
Well, it stops now outside of habit.
That is the worst.
And you were the pen shower for a while, right?
Yes, I was.
And because of that, Norton started to put pens up his fucking asshole so that Chris would chew on his asshole when he chewed on a pen. But what Norton didn't see coming is Chris didn't care one way or another. Chris would actually go down and lick his ass and not be thrown by it.
I will tell you something. This happened a while ago. I was out to eat with Chris. I was eating a steak taco I got a piece of steak wedged in my back tooth, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, it's a gross thing, but I took a straw out of my drink and I kind of got the piece of steak out of my back tooth. I put the straw in front of me. Obviously, I'm not going to reuse that straw. About 5 minutes later, after I do that, Chris takes the straw that is in front of me, right here, and puts it in his mouth. And like he was a baby, I go, no, take that out of your mouth. I picked steak out of my teeth with that. And then he shrugs at me.
He doesn't have the normal thing that would gross people out.
It was a very big, chewed up piece of steak in the back of my teeth. Why are you chewing on that?
Anyway, Chris took me away from the Dan Natterman story that I wanted to do, which was frozen shoulder, and explain it to people. Imagine, right, that your shoulder, because you're thinking of it as an injury, like a rotator cuff injury.
Yeah.
No, it's if that thing just freezes and stops. Like, picture your shoulder turning to cement, to statue, just stops working. And then during the whole thing, it just saw him trying to stretch, and it was, there's a sadness on the edge of town. That's what I'll just say.
What can you even do for that?
You can't do anything. You could turn back time is all you could possibly do. But what had him concerned, and what always, because of the internet, concerns everybody, is that you go, oh, this could be the early signs of, and you fill in the blank.
Exactly. There isn't a thing.
None of the pleasant things.
Yeah, there isn't a thing that you have, like any kind of symptom you could have always leads you to something, like it could be just like the beginning of a cold, or you have cancer. Every time you look something up.
True. It's always the worst possible thing. That's what's stuck in your head. That's why you don't want to fucking pay attention to anything in your life. You just want to ignore it all and keep going. Like any kind of wounded dog. Wounded dogs are the smartest. They just act like it. Not only does the fact that they refuse to see the future, they refuse to remember the past when it didn't hurt.
Right.
Because that's what's your problem. You're like, oh man, I remember when I didn't have frozen shoulder. I was so happy my whole life leading up to that point.
But anytime you have an injury from a non, either incident or, exercise of some way, it's always embarrassing. Like, I have a bad right knee, and anytime I'm like, oh, my knee really is acting up. And everyone's always like, oh, do you run? And you're like, what happened? You injured it while you were working out, or just the way it is.
Alec Baldwin is getting beat up in the press right now by producers who worked with him. Now, I don't even remember this movie that he did, but apparently it was a movie called Bad Stepdad or something like that. I don't know. But it was about him having an affair with his stepdaughter about 10 years ago. And then he said, I didn't realize that the girl was underage, and I flipped out on the fucking producers after I found out, after the movie was made. And the producer said, not only did he know that, but it was the entire point of our movie.
Right. It was very clear. The producer said, because in his memoir,
it's Lolita. It's a Lolita story.
Right. In the memoir, he wrote, like, I really gave them hell because I didn't know that she was 17. I wouldn't have agreed to do it. But the producer said not only was like that, he was like, and by the way, she was 16, not 17, and you did know it. Like, that was completely the premise.
But also one other thing, Alec. You didn't actually have sex with her. This was acting. Which is, you know what I mean? Like, the premise of this is, here's the story. Here are the people playing the story. You're not doing it. Just like you don't, like Malkovich doesn't sit around and go, I really didn't want to kill the president with Clint Eastwood chasing me, but they made me do it. You know what I mean? Like, that never happened.
I never would have agreed if I would have understood that character was the president.
But it doesn't even make sense that he would have a problem with it after the fact.
Yeah, and it wasn't something that needed explanation. Like saying, oh, by the way, I gave them hell when I found out. It's like nobody was asking, hey, dude, this was inappropriate. Like, it wasn't a story he had
By
to
the way,
say.
it wasn't inappropriate, though, because you were acting.
Right.
You know, it would have been inappropriate if you would have done it in real life and didn't know her age, which, by the way, you don't get to dodge that crime because of that. But nothing actually took place, Alec.
No.
You're not a better person than if you didn't, or you wouldn't have been a better person if you didn't do the movie. It was a fucking movie. But by the way, how did I never hear of this movie?
Yeah, I think it's called Minnie's First Time.
Minnie's First Time. I think Luke Wilson is also in it.
You saw it?
I saw it. Yeah, I saw it a couple of times. It was on cable a few years ago.
Okay.
I mean, it comes across horrendous the way you said that. Is it a good movie?
It's okay.
The actress is Nikki Reed, and she was in the movie 13, and she's also used to date Victor Rasuk. Was the
oh yeah, okay, so I know who Nikki Reed is now.
Yeah,
she had a hot little career there.
Yes, she did. There was like a couple movies, like early aughts, that like she was kind of doing.
Yeah, she was the It Girl.
Yeah,
she was somewhat the It Girl. The It Girl. But Alec doesn't make sense on this point because, like we said, you didn't do it, Alec.
Right.
You just were in a movie about it. Just like your own brother was not a real usual suspect. And you never really sold real estate in Glengarry Glen Ross. It doesn't make sense that you would be like, a murder movie is fine, but a sex movie is not fine. It doesn't make sense.
I wish that Brad Pitt would come out and say, I just want to say I didn't know that Kirsten Dunst wasn't underage, and I didn't know that she wasn't a vampire. I never would have done this movie had I known she was a human girl.
Listen to me.
I remember watching that movie because there's like the idea is that, you know, there's kind of like a romantic connection between Brad Pitt and Kirsten Dunst, who's very, very little.
Yeah.
But the idea is that she's old, she's a vampire, and so there's like weirdness about that. And as a kid, I remember feeling like that was quite a victory. I was like, oh, is that who he's into? Young ladies. So you're telling me there's a chance?
Well, this is awkward. Hard Red Johnny has called back first time since that last awkward phone call we had with him. I just don't want it to carry over.
I hope everything's gonna be okay.
I hope he hangs up right now. I don't have to talk to him. He tried to force an anniversary on us. That didn't make sense. And then when I tried to correct him, he did that weird, yes it is. Shit, he hasn't hung up yet.
Fuck.
All right. Do you think you should just pick up?
Hi, Johnny.
Hey, happy anniversary.
Good, please.
All right, so I made a little mistake in my opinion. It's my opinion. What am I going to do?
I didn't think you'd call back.
Ever?
Yeah, I just felt like we would leave it at that.
All right, I mean, so find a different Thanksgiving place. This is terrible.
I do like the threat. You know, that makes it less awkward.
No, I mean, I will, because I'll celebrate Thanksgiving, but just it will never be the same.
Okay. All right, Johnny. Was there anything else?
Well, yeah, I guess, but you don't really want to talk to me anymore, so I guess not.
Oh, see, I
want to make it right.
This is the awkwardness I hoped he wouldn't bring today.
I've actually got
I want to make it right.
Tiny little tear rolling down my cheek right now.
Was there something else that you called about, Johnny?
Well, I was going to just find out, are you sure that Billy Baldwin wasn't really a fireman in Backdraft? Now I'm confused about all these movie roles.
Yeah, that's the thing. Billy didn't work as a fireman. He worked as an actor.
Oh. Damn it. And now I know why Robert De Niro looked at me weird when I asked him how he thought that fire started.
Yes. I remember when I said to Al Pacino, I'm so sorry for the loss of your dad, Marlon Brando. And then when Sonny was killed, oh my God.
I felt terrible. You've been through so much.
Yeah. Oh, how I hated that brother-in-law. How I fucking hated that pretty brother-in-law.
Carlo. You can't fool a Corleone, Carlo.
All right, Jenny.
Well, Bennington's, it was nice to talk to you again. I guess I'll do it again in a couple months.
Johnny,
please don't be like, please don't be awkward with us.
Let's make it right.
I kind of had a decent call this time, so maybe.
I don't know. I don't know.
See, this is what I don't like.
The fact that it even came back up again, it just feels weird.
You brought it up, not me.
I know, but I thought it was on all of our minds.
It wasn't on mine until you brought it up. Then I felt stupid. I was going to hang up like you said I should have.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
I don't know what to do now.
I don't like awkwardness. I don't like awkwardness. I really don't. All right, Jenny.
Bye. I'll talk to you some other time.
Oh, boy. Just even saying it that way. Now we're never going to get back to normal. Why didn't you just drop it?
I wish I could just turn back time right now.
If I could turn back time. That's pretty good. Save that for wherever we do Thanksgiving this year.
Oh, ouch.
How about right away he threatens us with Thanksgiving? Like, I'll fucking get these fuckers.
Please don't threaten us, Johnny. We love you.
No, I don't think there's any love anymore.
Oh no, that's not true.
Oh my God.
Make it better.
Oh my God, it's
Chris,
so awkward.
do something.
That's Johnny, I don't know.
I can't do anything.
Let Don fix it.
I'll call Don.
Don will know.
All right, see you later, Johnny.
Bye, Johnny.
Bye, Benningtons.
Oh, sounds so sad.
Yeah, I know. Did we retweet the Tim Dillon thing?
Yes, we did.
Nice. Good. Did we add something to the retweet?
Just a retweet.
Damn. I wanted to say something like, this sounds great, Tim. Like, rock on, Tim. By the way, Tim Dillon has always got good energy. You know what I mean? Like, he's always happy to be wherever he is.
He is. He's always on.
Even when he's annoying, it's still, you know what I mean? It's still great. I'm just so bored with the news. Did you know that Red Eye's canceled? Tonight is the last night.
I just found this out. Yeah, I had no idea. That was a very kind of...
Came out of nowhere.
Yeah. What happened? I thought it was doing well. I just feel like...
I don't know. I don't know how the 3:30 in the morning ratings are, but it just seemed like one of those things that comics have been doing that for like a decade. And then boom, yanked it. It was like Friday's the last day. It was, you know what I mean? Right. It wasn't even like, you never even heard that it was on the bubble or anything. I'll tell you what part of the problem is. You never want to be, like I say, on the winning team. The winning team has the worst fucking commentary because you're just like, you're defending instead of attacking. Attacking is where the fun is.
Exactly. It just makes it makes passion out of it.
Right.
Like it's not very easy to be passionately defending yourself. Like You're just like, come on, you're already winning. Just relax.
But now you don't seem like you're winning. Hey, here's our buddy Justin from Toronto. Hey, Justin.
Hey, guys.
What's up?
Not much. The other day I heard you guys talking about how you think Chris Stanley's dad might be native.
Yes.
Yeah, so I got him to send me a picture, and I got a few questions for him.
Sure.
All right, shoot.
But yeah, Mark Maron has a bit that I think applies. It takes one generation of brown to fuck up white, and it takes generations of white to unfuck brown. Wow. And yeah, so I think that applies. Now, from the picture, I couldn't really tell some things. So, like, his facial hair, what was his facial hair situation like?
I don't know, he would sometimes have a mustache or, like, a light beard.
Yeah, so it was kind of like my situation, right?
Sure, yeah.
Even yours, Chris, you're patchy beard.
Very patchy, yeah, and he was also very kind of hairless
almost
guy, too.
An Asian beard.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so what color was his hair?
Black. Brown black.
All right. Now this one's going to be weird. What color are your nipples?
My nipples are, hold on, light pink.
Okay. What color do you think his nipples were?
Oh, shit.
Do you remember your dad's nipples?
I'm trying to
Fondly.
think. I think they might have been darker. They might have been darker nipples, if I'm remembering correctly.
All right. Now, the reason I say this is because French Canadians, when they say they have native ancestry, it's actually more likely that they're not lying about it. Because until 1790, there were no French women being sent to Quebec. So if you wanted a lady, she had to be native. And So when I've been with French girls who have claimed native ancestry, and I can always tell how far back it goes by the color of their nipples.
This is the nipple test.
Yeah. Yeah. So now, what did his parents do?
I think his father was a coal miner in PA before he moved to
and buffalo hunter.
Yeah, he loved that.
Does that tell you anything?
And I don't know what his mother did. I never met her.
Yeah. Do you know what like the color of their skin was like? Was it darker or were they white?
I have no idea. I only saw like one picture of my grandfather on his side, and he looked like he had a tan.
Yeah. See, when the native gene is passed down paternally, the skin gene isn't passed down as thickly as it is when it's passed down maternally.
Interesting.
So I think in your case, there's a very high probability that, your dad might have been at least part native.
All right. This is great. I don't need Ancestry.com anymore.
The native detective.
Yeah, at least wait till that shit costs like $5.
Yeah, what is it? Let's have those tests done, because I'd like to see Chris get his done, and I'd also love for Jen to get hers done.
Yeah.
And
can we expense those?
No,
they will be.
No, I remember when I said up to Jen, I don't think she gets the opportunity to say that she's African American because she's an island person.
Yeah,
I heard from an island person who said 100% agree with Ronnie B.
Yeah, I know people who, they say that they're black, but they're not African American.
Yeah.
Because black is more
as like... It's a totally different situation there, too, because there was also natives that lived on those islands, too.
Exactly.
And there was for sure mixing, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. Even like what people consider like white Cubans and black Cubans, there's always native blood in there that was there other than the Spanish stuff.
Yeah, so. And in general, like all across the board, if there was Spanish, American, French, British, they didn't send a whole lot of women at first. And the ones that did, they saw how life was with natives, and it was their quality of life would have actually been better living with the natives. And Ben Franklin said the reason the colonialists built walls was to actually not keep the natives out because it was just climate, but to keep the white women in.
Ah, that's interesting. Ben Franklin fucking, you know what I mean? He fucks around a little bit. Ben Franklin was fucking playing loose with the fucking morals of the day.
Oh yeah, because he loved native culture and he saw how free it was, and a big part of American, the American spirit. The reason they call it the American spirit is the Native American influence.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, because right away, they kind of went native as soon as you go, as soon as you go.
Right.
Just like when
they were indentured servants, and then they see people living freely. They're like, fuck this shit.
Right. But even when white people go to Hawaii, all of a sudden they're talking like they grew up there. And you're like, I mean, you're calling me a Hallie, but what the fuck are you right now?
Yeah. That does happen. You get some white people who overreach.
Yeah. White people have a tendency to overreach. They want to belong so bad. They want to be in the majority, no matter where they go.
Right.
What they like, majority. All right, talk to you soon, Justin.
Yeah, man, peace.
All right, Dr. Steve tweeted, Tim Dillon rules and will be in Kingsport, Tennessee, August 3 for Friends of Allendale Festival. And then he writes, and it's free. Okay. I'm going to probably go to that then, August 3rd. Why are you writing it down, Chris?
For a later reference.
There is no later reference. I know you.
August 3.
By the way, I was excited because I had retweeted our buddy Justin, who commented on Robbie Robertson. And
that was our buddy Justin just called?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he was saying, as a young native dude, I've always looked up to Robbie Robertson. And then this morning I was really excited because I saw Robbie Robertson liked it. And I was like, way to go, Justin.
I like it. Why not retweet it?
Some people are choosy with the retweets.
I like a nice retweet. Do you think Robbie did it or Robbie's assistant?
I think Robbie himself. Because Robbie walked in here on his own.
And Robbie said to me, you ought to just do a song where you sing along with the music. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if I just annoyed him by singing his songs. I can't fucking help it with those tunes, though. This is kind of weird. So the Hall of Fame is coming up, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the person that's going to bring in Pearl Jam, Uncle Dave Letterman.
Really?
Yeah, now I remember when Pearl Jam broke, they did the Letterman show, I think back to back or very close. And everyone was like, well, that's weird how much Dave is in the Pearl Jam. But,
loves the jam.
I guess he really likes them.
Yeah, that's weird. I mean, Dave has his, couple bands that he gets into.
Well, I would have thought Pearl Jam, Neil Young would have put him in, because that was their original connection.
Yeah, he was supposed to, but he's not feeling well, so they
I didn't know this.
Yeah, Neil Young was originally supposed to do it.
Well, I hope Neil Young will remember this Southern man doesn't need him around anyhow. So I didn't know. So this is a fill-in.
Yeah, Letterman's a fill-in, yeah.
That's a good one, man. Wonder who else could have put him in. And the other big story is, yes, will they kind of regroup because there's two separately touring Yes outfits.
Right. Yeah. Will they unite again?
And the band that calls themselves Yes, they don't, to me, they're not Yes.
Because the majority of the members are in the other band.
It doesn't even have to be majority, but you have John Anderson and Rick Wakeman. The ones that kind of gave the group its sound, you know what I mean? I mean, to me, it was always about Rick Wakeman, because no one was playing the keyboards like that before. And John Anderson is one of the most unique voices of all time.
Yeah, I think that to me is, if you're gonna have to split Yes, that's Yes.
It's sad that we have to split Yes. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know why anyone gets the name Yes at this point. But do you think they'll all come together to play together? The original group.
I think it'll happen. I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame will bring them together.
I don't know, because then you got other guys in the new group who are like, oh, you're going back to your old fucking girlfriend? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? It's like, if you go back to a wedding and the parents it's always awkward. It's always awkward when the divorced parents come back together to act like we give this child away. You know, everyone's just like, really? What about your new husband and your new wife? Because a lot of times you've been with them even longer.
Right.
You know? Van Halen had that trouble. A lot of bands have that trouble when they try to show up somewhere. And Pearl Jam had one of those things where they only put in, I forget which drummer went in, but it wasn't the drummer who's been with it the longest.
It was the original drummer.
Am I thinking of Pearl Jam? Yeah, I'm thinking of Pearl Jam. Maybe I'm not.
Maybe I'm crazy. I thought for some reason that everyone goes in, like every member of a band.
No, because a lot of times you look at a band and there'll be 40 or 50 fucking members.
Right.
And that's, ridiculous. When we were doing the Southern rock thing, I looked on the Wikipedia page for the amount of people who ever were able to say they were in the Outlaws. And it was bigger than the audience. I mean, it was just tremendous. So all those people wouldn't go in. And if you look at a band, normally it's the first 4 albums that, whether or not they're going to be a great band. So you could want to make 20 more albums after that. But to most people, only the first 4 matter.
And play those songs of that band longer than that person ever played them, which is really weird.
But they didn't create it.
Right.
It's the created sound. I mean, I really don't think it's fucking fair to put Blackie from General Hospital into the Beach Boys. And he's been going around playing, I don't know, bongos or whatever for them since like fucking 83. So that's what that's the job of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, has to figure out when was the important part of the band. Because most bands don't have an everlasting importance.
Yeah. I'm sure it causes a lot of tension, though.
It causes a lot of hurt feelings. A lot of fucking hurt feelings.
I'm surprised Letterman was on deck. I would think Cameron Crowe would also be someone who could put in the Pearl Jam.
Yeah, but it's also done for TV ratings. And who would you rather book, Cameron Crowe or Letterman? Letterman is a fucking smart TV fucking booking. And he seems to be out there so much more than he was during his fucking career.
What about Laird? Laird Hamilton. Aren't they best friends?
Oh, yeah. I'd be happy to see Laird Hamilton come out.
Surf out.
Yeah.
Do we have the budget for this?
If he could catch a wave all the way to from Hawaii all the way to Cleveland or wherever they're having it at this year. Who else is going in this year?
I'll check.
Thank you. You and Vito have a race to see. Let's hear who's going in and who's inducting them.
There's no way he beats me. All right, so this is who's going in.
And who's inducting them? That's what I want to know.
I'll find that information out.
He's bluffing you, Vito. He's bluffing. He didn't have
nothing. And he got you to stop.
Yeah, he got you to stop,
Vito, while you were waiting.
All right, I'm going to give you the inductees. All the inductees first.
No, I don't want the inductees first. Why would I want that?
Keep going. Don't let him stop you.
Why don't you idiots just go to Rolling Stone? They always have everything on this.
God damn it. I'm not, okay. All right, Jackson Browne is inducting Joan Baez.
That's a good one.
Rush's Alex Lifeson and Geddy Lee inducting Yes. Letterman inducting Pearl Jam. Danny Harrison inducting ELO. Pat Moynihan inducting Journey.
Wait, what?
Pat Moynihan inducting Journey.
Because Pat Moynihan was the fucking political guy.
Bobby Moynihan is doing it.
Pharrell Williams inducting Nile Rodgers and Snoop Dogg inducting Tupac.
I thought Nile Rodgers wasn't going in. He was getting some kind of separate award. It's all very weird.
And then Steve Perry's going to be there for Journey.
Was Steve Perry going to sing with Journey?
Yeah. All they're saying right now, he was expected to join them for the induction, but he's not going to be performing with them.
See, Journey is another case of tons of people have been in that band, including Randy Jackson. But Randy Jackson was like, yeah, when I was in Journey, and he's always name checking Journey, but he was in Journey in 89 or 91, sometime long after anyone thought of Journey as being, at the top. And I don't even know who was the singer when he was there. You didn't have the Filipino guy and you didn't have Steve Perry. Look who it is. This is big famous comedian, Rich Voss. Rich Voss. Hey, buddy.
Hey, yesterday I heard you talk, I saw, and I don't remember, you might be able to help me with this. I saw the band and Bob Dylan together at the Garden.
75.
75, was it?
No, you're right. It might have been 74.
Who headlined that? I don't even remember.
The band came out and played, and then Dylan came out and played with the band. And the ending was like a Rolling Stone where they just kept lighting up more of the fucking stadium, right? So, and it was like, let go rolling, and the first, the front low would go, and then on the next thing, and people went fucking ape shit. It was one of the greatest fucking tours of all time.
Yeah, I saw that. My father got us tickets and took me, my brother, and my sister to the Garden, and I remember sneaking a joint or smoking it. And I remember I loved both of the bands. I just don't remember. That wasn't the last waltz, though.
No, this was a year or two before the last waltz. But it was when the Basement tapes came out. And Dylan and the band went back on fucking tour, and it was, it was fucking tremendous.
All those concerts back then were, I saw The Who when they came out with Quadrophenia, or Yes when they came out with Tales from Tropic, whatever the hell.
Tales of Topographical Oceans, my favorite trip song of all time. But yeah, those were massive, massive shows. But Dylan and the band together, forget about it.
That's the coolest.
It was great, but to me, doesn't ELO only have one famous song?
Well, there was an ELO thing that took place after the initial, they came out as an album band at first, and then later were a single band. Yeah. You know what I mean? They would have singles.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all I listen to is all music now. 60s on 6. That's what I listen to.
60s on 6. That's where you're going to find Rich Voss.
Yes. Do you think any of the members from the band next Thursday will come see me at the Ice House in Pasadena? Any of them will?
If Garth Hudson from the band shows up that night, it'll be fucking so exciting. But you at the Ice House in Pasadena, there should be lines around the block for that. You don't go out there much.
I don't go out there. And it's so weird that I'm going there, and then the next night, San Diego at this place called Winston's. Mm-hmm. 2 nights in a row I'm just doing, because I'm going out to do an NA convention, which I'm really looking forward to.
Wow, congratulations on that, too.
Well, why? I'm just, that's not a congratulations, it's big, but thank you. Now, here's the last thing I have to ask you.
Yeah.
I read something on Twitter, and I'm not going to get this right, but someone retweeted that you said, I am to the public like a something basket, or I don't know. Darn it! I wish I knew what you said and what it meant. Like, you know what I'm talking about?
No, not at all.
Like a straw basket. I'm getting this wrong, so they're all going to trash me.
I have a hard time believing that I said that you're like a straw basket.
No, like I'm something to the like. I don't. It made no sense to me. But now I'm going to go. I'm going to go find it on Twitter.
All right.
And I just like talking music and movies with you. Any day I will.
Me too, buddy.
We should do a show, just movies or music.
Movies and music, we'll call it. All right. Talk to you soon, Rich. No, not at all. I always say when people feel like they have to apologize. First of all, I'm very impressed that Rich Voss saw that fucking tour.
That was very cool.
Dillon and the band. It was one of the most spectacular tours of all time. And I personally, when it comes to Dillon, I prefer his 70s stuff to his even more famous 60s stuff. But the stuff that he did with the band that went from the 60s into the 70s, that when the Basement Tapes came out, by the way, to me, it's got one of the great album covers of all time where they're all just down there hanging out. But that was like this magical thing that no one knew that those guys during that period had written and recorded all this music that had just, at the time we thought it had been sitting around for 100 years.
Yeah.
But it was like, I don't know, 6, 7, 8 years, but it seemed ancient to me. I was a little kid. And then when this music came out, everybody was fucking freaking out about it. You know what I mean? Like it was a treasure that was found. But, we had the chance to talk to Robbie about that yesterday, of that they were just making music for the pleasure of making music at their absolute best, that they were just totally caught up in it. That conversation, I heard from Ken Shane, who's a great musician himself and a great music writer, and he said that he was welling up listening to him talking about the reasons for picking the people in The Last Waltz. And in my mind, I'm going fucking crazy while we're talking to him.
Yeah. I had the same experience and just like chills the whole time. Like it really was a really wild moment to be sitting next to him while he's talking about the planning and decision making, and then we decided to like throw Van in there. Like that was like,
how could you not have, we're going to go to blues, you got to go Muddy Waters, but then who's English blues? Well, we got to go Eric. You know what I mean? It's like the fact that he had those experiences is just fucking mind-blowing. Mind-blowing. And, I mean, we sit around and talk to Dillon like a mystery, and he was like with Dillon every day for years.
Yeah.
And being sometimes the first person to hear, Dillon writing, like, does this work? And it's this Wheels on Fire or, going to Acapulco, and you're just like, what the fuck? What is that? Forget everything else that you have achieved. What was that one experience like? That's what's fucking crazy about it. It's the Bennington Show. We're going to be in the Moon Tower in Austin, Texas, and we've got it, the last Unmasked that we're going to be there for. So your chance to pick up tickets today, and I think this is going to be an exceptional day. Eddie Pepitone, who I told you the last time Rich Voss and I were talking, he was telling me just how much he admires Eddie Pepitone's ability to write material. It's really, really smart stuff. Chris, give us details.
That's happening Saturday, April 22nd at 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas. It's part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. Go to theinterrobang.com for a chance at free tickets. If you have a Moon Tower badge, you already get in.
Now, we got to get Rich Voss on the Perfect Song show.
Yeah, I was thinking that when he was talking. He'd be fun for it.
Yeah. I didn't know that he saw that tour. I'm very, very impressed. Very impressed.
Yeah, that's wild. We've got a couple of good Perfect songs lined up that I'm excited about.
Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Good. Now, is that a thing that we're going to play on this show, or we just play it at night?
We're definitely going to play it at night, but I say we could play it on this show as well.
Well, it changes everything, doesn't it?
We did play the demo for it last week.
Yeah, but
2 weeks ago.
Demo
was 15 minutes.
I mean, what are you doing? What are you talking about demos for, Chris?
I'm just saying, it's the Perfect Song has shown up on the Bennington show before.
Bennington
show.
You just said Bennington.
Did I?
Yes. Are you going to Austin with us? Because I don't like the idea that you could get Texans to mispronounce our show name.
I'm hoping to go. I was planning to go.
We can't have you representing us.
Noam yesterday was like, is the name of your show Bennington or Benningtons? Like, it's Bennington.
Just Bennington.
And he's like, well, why? Why isn't it plural? And I go, because when I die, the name of the show doesn't have to change. Get it? No.
It means, it's like a lot of meanings there.
I don't know whether Bonnie would be into Perfect Song. She's more like Perfect Joke.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if she ever says, oh, this is something that is precious to me.
I don't think I've
Not
ever...
even her own family.
I don't think I've ever had a music conversation with her. Although it does come up
because
she's
a joke writing machine.
Yeah.
Bonnie's more like, oh, there's something that you like? Let me find out how I can make you feel bad about that with a funny joke.
I'm going to hurt you with this.
Going to Acapulco. Jim in New Jersey wants to talk to us. What is it, Jim?
Hey, what's going on, Ronnie?
Well, I'm just doing a radio show.
I'm a little late on the topic, but you were talking about Pearl Jam coming into the...
We were discussing the fact that Mr. David Letterman is going to induct Pearl Jam into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So, I guess Hall of Fame decided only 2 of the drummers were important enough, but now they're bringing like all 5 of them.
They can bring them, and Pearl Jam is doing that because there's so many people got mad. You know how ridiculously intense Pearl Jam's audience is, and how they pay attention to each thing. So they're bringing, but only 2 are going to be actual members of the Hall of Fame.
Which is kind of cool. They're all coming, but I feel sort of bad for the guy who was on like their 2 biggest albums who like missed out of it, right?
I think they only put the original drummer, and I don't know how they picked the second drummer. I really couldn't tell you.
Well, the second is Matt Cameron, who was originally Soundgarden, right? And then he came over to Pearl Jam,
and so he's definitely going in.
For 2 bands.
Yeah.
He's been there a long time now. He's been there like 12 years.
Yeah, it always annoys me when people get in several times. Like
as a solo artist.
Paul McCartney is a Beatle, a Wing, and a solo artist. I mean, you're just like, huh?
Wings in? I didn't realize that.
Maybe I'm wrong. But Paul McCartney and Wings was his solo project. What are you typing for? Be in the moment. Should I let you go in there?
No, I'm in the moment.
Earlier, we couldn't get you to type anything, and now it's but it's very hard when you're talking to someone and they've turned their back on you, and they're looking at your keyboard, and you're just like, would you and the keyboard like to go do a show together? Could we do that?
If you love each other so much.
Let's, we can have a game called See If Jen Knows Who This Person Is from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
That's a good idea.
Who's the most famous person that Jen's never heard of? Because when she said she had never heard of Rod Stewart, my mind was fucking blown and blown forever.
I'm going to make a guess that Jen cannot name all 4 Beatles.
All right, come on in here, Jen.
That's just a guess. I could be totally wrong.
First of all, that's easy money.
Do you think that she can't?
No way has she ever heard of George Harrison. No fucking way.
Okay,
I mean, I could see her getting the top 2, and I could see her getting the one that everyone knows because of his fun name.
Okay.
All right. Jen?
Yeah.
And first of all, tell everybody how old you are.
25.
25.
Yeah.
Name all 4 Beatles.
Paul.
Paul what?
McCartney.
Okay. First of all, I love the confidence that you're coming in.
I love the confidence.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
So you got Paul McCartney.
I know them by faces, but I'm not good with names, period. Like, if I saw them, I'd be like, okay, I know who you are.
But you wouldn't know
but
their
I'm
names.
really bad with names. I'm so bad with names.
So you only know Paul McCartney?
Name-wise, yeah.
Name-wise, yeah. Which is how we would know how people know facts. All right, how many Rolling Stones can you come up with?
No, I don't know.
You've never heard the...
I've heard the name Rolling Stones, but I don't know the...
All right, now let me just say this thing to see if you've ever heard of it. Mick Jagger.
Yes, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You have.
I have heard of him.
All right, good. So, I mean...
I was shocked because I thought she was going to get 3 or 4. I didn't think it was going to be a 1
I knew
or
George
4.
Harrison was not going to happen.
That was my guess.
I thought she might know Ringo Starr because sometimes people know those names.
Right.
Just because they're like, oh, that's a silly name. Ringo.
Sure. I thought she was going to get 3 or 4. I'm very surprised. I didn't think it was going to be just 1. And even a not very confident one. McCartney.
I almost said McCarthy, but I realized it was McCarthy.
That would have been Melissa.
She's a Beatle, an honorary Beatle.
All right, let's go backwards from today and name all the hosts of The Tonight Show that you can.
Oh, okay. So Jimmy Fallon.
Right.
Jay Leno.
Okay, that's 2.
What's his name? My favorite, Jimmy Kimmel.
No, he was never on The Tonight Show.
Oh, no, I don't know then.
Yeah. My favorite Tonight Show person was Jimmy Kimmel, who's never been on there.
Remember Leno took over for Kimmel? Remember that crazy time, late night wars?
And, I'm trying to think. God, I'm bad with names.
It's okay. Name anyone who was... by the way, you're not bad with names, you're bad with facts. You're fine with names. I could bring up... You know hip-hop, right? That's your thing.
Yeah. That's my thing.
I wonder if it is, though. I wonder if I knew hip-hop that she would be like... I'd be like, what? You don't know? Name people from, let's just say, Public Enemy.
Public Flavor Flav.
Okay.
God, I'm bad with... See, this is old school hip hop. I'm more of a new school hip hop person.
Right. So what you can tell me is something that's happening today and nothing else.
What do you mean, like a story?
I am trying to think. Here's what happened on... I saw this on stage, and I might have brought this up on the air because I was laughing like a baby. So I'm watching Sherrod the other night at the stand, and I'm going to tell you the truth. Sherrod kills. Fucking kills every time he steps out. But he got into Public Enemy and he mentioned Flavor Flav, and then he went to mention Chuck D, but he called him Chuck Nice. And I was the only person...
Holy shit, that's so fucking funny.
I was the only person in the room to catch it, and I laughed like I was a child. But I'm going to say this to you again, and I'm going to say it in total sincerity. Fucking Sherrod kills on stage. He beats the shit out of those white people and drags them around, and they love him for it. They love him. That's the end of that. So, Chuck Nice, not a member of Public Enemy.
Can you name the members of the Wu-Tang Clan?
Oh, gosh.
The original members.
Yeah,
Why can't it just be anybody from Wu-Tang?
Yeah.
I'd be happy.
Just let
Anyone, sure.
Oh, man. I know the names. It's just I'm really bad at names. Like,
no.
I'll meet someone once. No, I really am bad.
You're bad at facts, honey. You got a little cold too now, right?
Yeah, I do.
I can hear it.
Yeah.
I hope you don't get the thing that I've had.
I'm starting to get a sore throat.
My sister's sick too, so I think that's why.
I've had it for, my doctor said I've had it for 7 years straight now. Chris, have you seen a movie called Nerve?
Yes, I have, actually.
What did you think of it?
I enjoyed it.
I thought that you would, because I felt like it was an updated Hackers.
What's Nerve?
It's just a bad hacking movie. Just a terrible, awful thing. And,
with Dave Franco.
The great Dave Franco, who shows zero emotion. No matter what's happening, he does not share his emotions. All right, let's break here. Back, Bennington. That was the band playing with Dillon. We're still riding high from Robbie Robertson yesterday.
Yeah, I really am. Even to this morning, I woke up like it felt like some kind of weird dream.
Vito, the big story is Tony Romo backing out of playing anymore in the NFL and going on to become the number one color guy for CBS, pushing out your hero, Phil Simms. I want to ask you this, Vito, as a sports guy, and quite frankly, the only sports guy that I know on this show. By far.
I'm a sports guy.
Is that right? How bizarre. Now, would this keep you from voting for him for the Hall of Fame?
Just like retiring before getting a ring and getting a broadcast?
Knowing that he could still go for the ring and not keeps that from me of thinking this is the kind of guy who is exceptional because while he could still play the sport, opted to talk about the sport.
Well, yeah, I mean, it definitely takes away from his legacy considering people like Peyton Manning who went out there year after year.
Would this keep you from voting for him for the Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I don't think I would vote for him.
In my opinion right now, Tony Romo must never get into the Hall of Fame. I'm actually so annoyed by this story. And everyone's going, I think he's going to make such a good transition. Who the fuck couldn't? Who the hell that didn't play quarterback couldn't talk about it during a game? And is there anybody, because you even bring up that Phil Simms was the number one guy, who, by the way, I never thought was even slightly interesting to listen to. It goes to show you how anybody who had played the sport could easily do color, right? It's not a big deal.
Right.
It's like watching a game with someone who'd played the game before. So it's not, I'm never, I'm more impressed with a play-by-play man because that's difficult broadcasting to do. Rather than if you're sitting next to the play-by-play man, you go like this. Yeah, that's right. You want to be able to get your hands on the ball and pull it in. I mean, who the fuck couldn't say that? Most people's moms could go in there and do color commentary. But you've got the opportunity to go to Denver or, to a lesser degree, go to Houston and win a fucking ring that has eluded you your entire career, and you don't do it. So you can talk about people who do. If I was him, I'd go like this. Yes, I lack the courage that these other players have. My clavicle hurt. By the way, clavicle is not such a terrible thing to live with. A broken clavicle.
Is it?
Compared to like a knee?
No, knee is like that.
Or a pelvis?
Fucks your life up.
Or a brain? A clavicle, you're going like this. When it rains, it really starts to ache a little bit there. I mean, you're just getting older. That's all it means.
But I think he will make the Hall of Fame, and that just says more about the NFL Hall of Fame.
I will be done with this sport of the National Football League if he gets in the Hall of Fame.
I think it's the weakest Hall of Fame in sports. I think they don't. It's like if you have a career that lasts longer than like 5-6 years, they let most guys in.
Most quarterbacks get in, no matter what happens.
It's not like a baseball Hall of Fame.
No, baseball Hall of Fame is the most difficult. Now you're finding out Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is much easier than it used to be. Once they let Kiss in, it stopped being fun. Hey Todd, what do you got for us, buddy?
I was watching Fox last night, and the Egyptian president was on, and his translator, basically was telling everybody how Trump will stop terrorism and terrorists, but his translator said tourism and tourists. And I didn't think it was real, but I watched a few more minutes, and he said it several times more.
Well, I will say this. I think when a terrorist does travel outside their country, they're also a tourist. They're the worst kind of tourist you could have, You know what I mean? But you can be a tourist and a terrorist.
Yeah, terrorist tourism is, you know, when you...
We're here to see the sights and blow them up. I mean, really, the only difference between a tourist and terrorist is that you remember the terrorist, where the tourists you really don't even recall.
No, you try to forget them. But I like the idea of a terrorist tourist, like seeing something and you're like, you know what, I actually really enjoy that. That one I'm not going to blow up.
I don't know. I think I would be like, I enjoyed it so much that I did blow it up.
I want to be the last person who saw this.
Yeah, the Trump news comes so fast and heavy. The Steve Bannon stuff was depressing yesterday. It's just be going back to, you know.
And Syria,
no one, the Syria stuff was sick. It's just too much. I really need a break from the news.
Well, the story after this Syrian attack was, like, hearing the news was really heartbreaking, and I knew that there had been footage and photographs and stuff like that, but I was not seeking it out. I just only was getting, you know, a little bit of what had went down. But then you go on social media, like, for example, on Facebook, where somebody shares a news story, and you don't click it, it immediately starts playing when you scroll past it.
Yes.
So I'm just scrolling past and see a child gasping for air and see a child's last breaths. And I'm like, it's not that I don't want it, you know, it's not like I want to ignore it, but I was like, I purposefully didn't try to see video footage of children on the ground poisoned with gas.
Yeah, John McCain, not crazy about that, came out against it yesterday.
He's strongly against?
But I saw a lot of people, a lot of my conservative friends, who are now anti-John McCain. Because they feel like he just tries to fuck with Trump. Wade, in Toronto. Wade.
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead, buddy.
Hey, Ron, it's John in North Carolina.
Wow, I had you as Wade in Toronto. That was really far off. Yeah.
Hey, no way Tony Romo could ever make it 78-49 with 2 playoff wins. He shouldn't even be in the conversation.
So he never goes into the Hall of Fame.
Can you vote for anybody that's 78-49, never won anything?
No, I can't. I can't vote. I mean, if he doesn't play it fucking in Dallas, no one ever brings his name up again. You know what I mean?
Is there something like a standard that they go for the Hall of Fame, or
no? Quite frankly, there isn't a standard.
It seems more like fame based.
No,
you got to set a record like Marino.
Marino set tons of records, so Marino didn't get a ring, but you're looking at him, you're like, oh, he was a dominating player. But no, to answer your question, you're really kind of left out there to your gut. A lot of it has to do with where you played, how you played, and the way you treated the game itself. Romo, worried about his health at the end of his career instead of the ring, is the exact opposite of competitive. You know what I mean? Like, you need an insane competitive nature.
And Ronnie, if he never fucked Jessica Simpson, we'd never have heard of him.
No, I think other than that, I think it was just when you're a cowboy for that long, because the Cowboys get, it's like in baseball, you have a better chance of going in baseball if you're a New York Yankee. You just do.
Because you're already just more known. Like
you're more known, and there's a tradition, and they're like, well, he was a Yankee, you know? And the Cowboys get that same kind of thing.
Right.
But this thing of walking away when you got a fucking chance, no. So this is Wade. It's a different line completely.
Yeah, it was
our lines were mixed up. Wait, I introduced somebody else as being you.
I'm quite a ways away from that, man.
Yeah.
Listen, no, this Tony Romo thing. You're right, Ronnie. It does suck. The competitive nature's gone. But, dude, I've been through a back surgery. And after what he's gone through, I can think that this guy is sitting there thinking to himself, fuck, if I can't walk tomorrow. He's still pretty young.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. But by the way, I'm not saying he has a right, not a right to make the decision. But the decision he makes is the exact opposite decision that we look for in our competitors, and it keeps him out of the Hall of Fame. It keeps him from being exceptional. Where you had a guy who already had a ring, had a neck injury that could paralyze him at any moment, and he still said, I want to play.
Right.
I want to fucking play. And that's the kind of people that we put in the Hall of Fame.
And it also makes it just seem a little bit like this was the end game. Whether or not it was, it seems like a career in football in general. I have
never once watched a game based on who the color commentator was, or for that matter, the play-by-play guy.
Right.
It can make the experience slightly better, but quite frankly, I don't need it at all.
Would you ever avoid watching a game because it's somebody you don't like hearing cover a game?
It's a great question, and the answer is no.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You're just like, oh, this guy
I will sit and bitch constantly, but I don't turn it off. I don't like fucking Aikman and the other fucking idiot, but I don't turn the game off because of it. I don't even turn the sound down. I just yell back at my TV. The fuck are you talking about?
Right.
That's just part of the experience.
Is Aikman your worst?
No, it's not. I hate his partner more than him. But I'm saying Aikman isn't totally exciting to me. There's no one that I'm out there that I'm going, oh my God, this is an I don't like the old fucking guy with a stack of dimes that used to play for fucking Cincinnati.
Pencil neck?
Yeah, used to do, I don't like him, but I don't turn the fucking game off.
Yeah. He's probably my least favorite.
I kind of like John Lynch, and he went back to, but I think it was more because I like John Lynch as a player.
Right.
But, I could take it or leave it. You could probably have a screeching, fucking hideous old bag of a lady on there, and I still wouldn't turn the game off. Hey, Joe, what's up?
Hi, Juan. Hi, Fez. Joe Montana was terrible as an announcer, and Lawrence Taylor was even worse.
Yeah. And I didn't turn off their games. There's plenty of people who are terrible as announcers.
Was Dennis Miller really that bad? Because I don't remember him calling. I just don't remember when he
Dennis
was
Miller
games.
was third on a mic. I mean, he was barely on. Yeah, he was the third on the booth. So, I mean, he's barely on the show, and he's just going like this, cha-cha, right? I didn't give a shit.
Well, it adds a little flavor to it.
Brought in the hammer. Someone got a hold of Sears and Roebuck. He just dropped the hammer on him. I mean, it's like watching a fucking game with Dennis Miller. I wouldn't get out and walk away if Dennis Miller sat next to me at a bar.
But you would be like, I wish he was being a little more quiet.
Chickadee chack, babe. He came across like Patton was invading the... Yeah, we know. Some fucking old thing that you had planned. I remember when he referred to the president as Bushy. Bushy brought that one. And people got mad at him that were like... And they didn't
because they thought it was disrespectful?
Yeah, they thought it was disrespectful, but he was like...
he likes Bushy.
Yeah, he liked Bushy, and Bushy used to put him on the plane. He used to go open for him at gigs and stuff. But people just were deciding to get mad at him because he had never played the game. It just didn't matter. It just didn't matter either way. Here's Jimmy in D.C.
I miss Spooky Dude. Anyway, Dan Theodore is my least favorite, and the Colts are my team. And if he's calling a Colts game, I turn the sound off. I have to watch the whole game without
Why don't you even fucking turn the TV off? Because you're watching the world's worst fucking owner and their fucking cheating team that left Baltimore. I do still. I hate Theodore too. But I hate most of them. It's not a big deal to me. All right, let me see this thing. All right, Brad sent us, everybody hates a Taurus, Joe Jackson. Because everybody hates a Taurus. Lori said, Larry broke his clavicle. Years of nerve pain and even shingles. Not as bad as a knee, but no fun. I've never heard of a fun injury, if I'm going to be totally honest.
You know what? I'm having fun with this. I'm enjoying it. I like the cast.
Looks great on me.
Only kids enjoy that. No adult would ever be. Like, a kid might say an injury is worth the attention, but I don't think most adults feel that way.
One time when I was younger, I thought that if my leg was amputated, I wouldn't have to do a lot of stuff, and I thought it might be a good... I'm laying down to sleep. I'm taking a nap, and I'm like, man, I wouldn't even have to do that if my leg was amputated. I was like fucking 12 or 13. And then I had a dream that my leg was amputated, and I woke up crying like a baby. Like, my leg! Why did I wish this on myself?
Because I remember there was this kid in school who broke his arm, and like at first everyone was psyched and like signing his cast and stuff, but immediately it turned in like, he thinks he's so cool with that cast.
I never had a cast, but I would go out of my way to be friends with the person with the cast so I could carry their books while we left class early, and then for some reason showed up to the next class late.
Right.
That was in 7th and 8th grade. Your friend was permitted to help you get to the next class. And I'm like this. I'd see some fucking guy wasn't even friends with him like this. I'm the fucking guy who carries your books. Don't fucking forget it.
Meanwhile, you're just making him wait for you while you're having a cigarette.
Yeah, I would actually say to him, I'll meet you over at the class. Don't go in there without me either. The next class. He's like, I just want to live my life. Because everybody hates a tourist. All right, Hard Rock Johnny wrote to this. He wrote to David Tranian to this. Wait till Thanksgiving rolls around. They'll come crawling back.
What? Johnny, I feel like you're making it worse.
I feel like he's really gone out of his way to make it terrible. Everybody hates a tourist. Especially those think it's such a laugh. When the chip stains won't come off in the bath. Let me see. Jason, Rochester.
Yeah, I think the reason Tony Romo retired is because shortly after Jerry Jones put him up for trade, both Denver and Houston said they had no interest in trading for him.
Well,
so I think he didn't really see a chance anywhere else.
No, first of all, you're not following the sport the way it's played. They didn't want to trade for him because they knew that they were going to get him without trading. They know he was going to be a free agent, and they wanted to wait, and it would have been a better deal for everyone. So nobody, that had nothing to do with whether or not, they both wanted him. They just they'd rather pay less than pay more. Much like when you go shopping for shoes, you would rather pay less. Did you see Payless has gone bankrupt?
I saw that.
I'm like, why didn't they charge more? That's how they fucked up.
They're giving those shoes away.
All right, someone wrote to me that you're kissing Sharad's ass. No, what I am doing is just giving you facts, nothing else. And it is just the fact that Sharad kills on stage. Fucking kills. If he didn't, I would give you the straight news.
That's guy.
Me, Tony Romo. Here's the problem with Tony Romo. When you see what your last name rhymes with, it's an uphill battle.
Yeah, it's not
uphill. I just said uphill.
It's an uphill battle, is what it is.
I live down south, never married. We were going through people that seem gay and aren't, and it's really a large amount of people today. A lot of people that you're surprised when you find out that they're not gay.
Yes, it's a very awkward thing because I think that our comfortability with the gay community has gotten better, but now it makes us like maybe too like, well, we just assume that's the case as opposed to just waiting for someone to say that.
Also, the gay community's comfortability stops them from making as great as art as they used to make. They've let me down throughout my lifetime. You went from my favorite artist to my least favorite artist.
I just had someone tell me to check out, I forgot to do it, but there's a band called Power Bottom who's supposed to be like a gay punk band, and I'm like, I've got to check this out.
Both myself and my husband, Jared Kushner, were both bottoms. I'm going to do everything I can do to help women. That's what I'm here for.
All women?
Bo in North Carolina.
Hey, Ronnie, how you doing?
Good.
Good, man. Listen, my cheap-ass family wants to take 12 grown-ass people to Manhattan and put them up in an Airbnb with 3 bedrooms and 2 baths.
Now,
what's your opinion on that?
What borough would you be staying in?
It's in the Village, 14th Street.
It sounds to me like an exciting, fun thing to try.
Okay, I'm used to the lot Palace last time I came, so you don't think I would be...
Oh, I'm sure it probably won't be as good, but it'll be unique.
Yeah.
We did an Airbnb last year outside of New York. We were upstate, but we all loved it.
That was like so fantastic because I had never done it before.
It would have been so much better than if we would have got 3 hotel rooms.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Is that near the Comedy Cellar and all those places?
Yes, you'll be right in the area of the Comedy Cellar in the Village.
Well, that would be making cool for me then. That's cool, man. I'm glad that you took my call.
Yeah, I'm glad to take your call. When are you going to be in town?
It's going to be December.
Long December, right? Counting Crow style. Make sure you call us when you're in.
I'll definitely do that. Thanks a lot, Ron.
Here's one thing, though, Bo, and this is very important since you're in the Village. Find out what floor you're on, because the Village is a very old part of New York, and there's a lot of walk-ups there. And if you have a 5 or 6 floor walk-up, that could be difficult.
I think we can handle it. We're okay.
I know you say that, but yeah, but on vacation, a walk-up can be tough. I think having an Airbnb in December, and you're going to be here for Christmas, you're going to have a lovely time. I
think that
sounds exciting.
Oh, that's awesome, guys. I really appreciate it.
Peace. And look us up when you come to town.
I lived on a 6th floor walk-up. And when I first moved in, I was like, I think this is going to be fun. I mean, once we move in, that's going to be annoying, of course. But no, it was not good. And it was like I moved in like one of the hottest summers, and there was like no AC, and just like the heat from the building rising to the 6th floor and then walking up 6 flights when it's 100 degrees outside. It was an absolute nightmare.
I found an apartment that was gorgeous, and it was a 5th floor walk up, and I'm like, nope, not going to do it. Because I walked up the first time, and I'm like, I'm exhausted. And the realtor goes like this, it's something that you'll get used to. And I go, I don't want to. I know I'll just go like this. I'm not going to go home now. Too high. I'm going to just go get a hotel room.
But think of your calves.
My calves are already in the best possible shape they could be. Shane, what's up, buddy?
Hey, Ronnie B.
Yeah.
Man, it's been like 30 or 35 years since I've been around friends with broken arms, but I can still distinctively remember the smell of those casts, man, when they were sweating in them and getting them wet.
Yeah, they don't have the old kind of cast that's made out of plaster, right? They don't do that anymore.
No. Yeah, but they were, like, everybody was always bragging about how stinky inside their cast was.
Yeah, there was. I mean, there wasn't a cast that stunk. It was your body.
Yeah, your body
rotting. Your body rotting away is what stunk so bad.
Inside of plastic.
You don't see kids with broken arms anymore, though.
Well, yeah, I mean, I think kids still break their arms, just not as much as when we were younger, because they don't do as many stupid things. They don't do, they're not as physically daring. But kids that ride skateboards, they break their bones all the time.
More carpal tunnel than anything.
Vito, did you ever break a bone?
No, I never did, and I was always really jealous of casts.
I just feel like none of our bones will break on this show. We're very strong boned. We're a strong bone show.
Never broke a bone.
Jen, you ever break a bone?
Jen had to run out for a second.
Where'd she go?
She had to go to the bathroom.
It's not my business.
I think
you tell her that we wait for commercials before we drop heat around here.
She holds it.
Why do you gotta make it angry, Chris?
He's peculiar.
And then Vito steals that from you. And it's almost like now you're fake, too, not just Vito.
No, I'm real. I'm a real person.
No.
Jack, what's up?
Ronnie B., sorry about the noise of some biblical rain here in South Philly, Dog. Hey, guy who seldom gets any work, or I don't hear him. Maybe he does some regional telecasts, but he was the voice of the NFL Network games for a while. Mike Mayock, Philly dude. For my money, the best, most knowledgeable color guy in the biz.
Well, the fact that he has an accent, the Philly accent, hurts you.
That's going to keep you from getting a lot of work.
Yeah, it's going to keep you from getting work because it just takes people away. But he was a Giant, Chris. He played with the Giants. But he's from Haverford, and you can hear it every time he talks.
It didn't hold you back, Ron.
What's that?
Didn't hold you back, pal.
No, you know what? You got to just keep working through it. No, I don't know. For all I know, it did hold me back. Maybe my life would be completely better. People are always saying to me, you should be way more famous. I got that yesterday. I'm like, I don't know if that's a compliment that you're giving me.
It's a strange one that I think people think is a compliment.
Well, I brought this up yesterday because it came up on the show that I did last night that's playing tonight at 7. I go, there's no one has a job with me. No one like me. No one gets to sit down for 30 minutes and talk to Robbie Robertson without a PD telling you what you have to ask before and after.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I could never complain about the Sirius XM gig and that I can take a major guest or turn down a major guest and no one cares.
Yeah, nobody gives you a hard time.
What percentage of guests do we take?
10, if that.
There's no way we take 10%.
I bet it's even less.
Yeah.
I bet it's even less.
If it's 4%, I'm shocked. Shocked.
And then, like, not only do we get the opportunity to take cool guests like that, but then you also have the opportunity to just be, like, silly and do whatever we want. Like, if we want to do some dumb shit and then talk to Robbie Robertson.
I could literally say, I could have came in here today and said, Vito has to take a bath and then spend the rest of that show drinking the bath water, right? I could be shock jockey like that. I wouldn't get a call about it. Or I could have spent the 3 hours discussing whether or not the Trump thing is leading to fascism, or just the opposite. The Democrats are leading to social. No one's going to say anything. You just don't have this job in broadcasting. It just doesn't happen. Randy in Philly. Randy.
Yo, what's ever going on up there, Bennington?
Hey, buddy, what's happening?
Hey, I never really liked Tony Romo because I'm, an Eagles fan down here in Philly.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be an all right broadcaster because he seems like he knows a thing or two.
Anybody from Philly who sits and listens to Romo talk about football should hang themselves, Randy. So I want you to go back and figure out what you've done wrong with your life. Salsa said, what would you think of Romo if he was a career Eagle? I would have been disappointed because you want to win a Super Bowl. There's nobody that's ever quarterbacked for the Eagles that I could say, oh, they get my Hall of Fame vote because they didn't win the fucking big one.
Right.
Didn't win it. That's the whole fucking point. Not to go 10-6 year after year and be like, well, at least we had more to cheer about than we did. No, you want to win the fucking Super Bowl. And this is why when you have to say, who's the greatest quarterback of all time, you don't throw in Dan Marino, who could throw a football like it was a fucking baseball. But he didn't win in the playoffs. Only went to one Super Bowl. Didn't fucking win at all. So you think those people who are Dolphin fans sit around and dream about the 83 season or the 87 season? No.
Right.
Their fucking life is a nightmare. They don't even go to games anymore. Most of them will try to fucking rent a boat, go out as far as they can to sea, and then dive in, hope that they drown before they make it into the beach. That's how bad it is. That's how bad their life turned into.
Romo's garbage. He's played 5 games over the last 2 seasons, so his arm's still pretty fresh. If he went to fucking Houston, they're going in the playoffs, if not the fucking Super Bowl.
I don't know. You're the only one who believed in Houston. I got nothing there. I'd say, yeah, you take a shot with Denver because they made this kind of thing happen before. Houston doesn't make shit happen. The worst thing that happened to them was getting a team. They should have just said, look, we'll wait for the Oilers to come back. If they don't, we have no team.
We're not responsible enough for this.
They seem to be just snake bit as a sports city. It happens. And let's face it, I don't think Romo was leading anybody anywhere. He knows what he is. He's just not enough. He's been measured already. What are you doing, Chris?
I saw some live reads.
It's like that's all you care about anymore.
It's one thing I care about, but not the only thing.
But it's the main thing, right?
So all this time you're afraid. You come over. I don't know why all these things just keep being handed around. Doug Benson's going to be here in a minute. Doug loves movies. That's happening at the Nerd Melt show room in Los Angeles. And we're on tonight on Doug Loves Movies. You can download on iTunes. Kate Maguchi, Josh Gandelman, and Aya Cash was with us.
It was a lot of fun.
So break. We're back with Doug Bennington. Fantasy sports fans. Did you hear the news? FanDuel just launched fantasy golf. You heard me. If you love golf and you love winning cash prizes playing on FanDuel, you've got to try fantasy golf. It's easy peasy lemon squeezy. You pick 8 golfers for your team. You stay under that salary cap and you score points for the Eagles, birdies, pars, and more.
Lots of contests to choose from, starting at just $1. Watch your score live and win cash prizes. Next week's golf contest will be back in FanDuel lobby on Monday. Excited about baseball? The season just started, which means daily fantasy baseball is back on FanDuel. Don't miss tomorrow's $250,000 MLB Grand Slam special with $50,000 to first place. Over 2.5 million players have won cash prizes playing on FanDuel. Try fantasy golf, try fantasy baseball, try both.
To get started, new users will get FanDuel Combo 5-pack valued at up to $50. That's 5 free entries to a combination of 50-50 beginner contests. Just finish in the top half to win cash. To get your 5 free entries, go to FanDuel.com. Click on the Join Now button and enter promo code Bennington. That's FanDuel.com. Promo code Bennington. Void where prohibited.
At Dish, they heard you when you said you hated waiting for the cable guy. They know you shouldn't have to take the whole day off for nothing. Dish knows because they listen. Mm-hmm. So they decided to design an installation process based on your needs. Dish starts by letting you pick same day or next day installation.
Check this out. They give you a reliable 55-minute arrival window. And to keep you up to date, Dish created the MyTech app with a tracker showing you your installer's picture. So now you know what your installer looks like. And the location on a map. So you can watch him walking down the street, coming right up to your house. I got to tell you the truth. I feel like I live in the future now.
No more wasting your day sitting on the couch waiting to get your TV set up. Dish installation designed with you in mind, featuring the 75-minute arrival window and real-time updates from the MyTech app.
Let me write it down for you. 1-844-CALL-DISH. Look at that. I've just made a 1, an 8, a 4, and a 4, and then I wrote in call Dish. Or visit dish.com. Dish. Tuned in to you. Call 1-844-CALL-DISH or visit dish.com. Restrictions apply. Call for more details.
Welcome back to Bennington. Doug Benson's in studio. Doug Loves Movies featuring Ron and Gail Bennington, Kate McCucci, Josh Gondelman, and Aya Cash is available now for download on iTunes and DougLovesMovies.com. Doug Loves Movies is happening at the Nerd Melt Showroom in Los Angeles, April 9th and 11th. Go to DougLovesMovies.com for all additional dates. And Getting Doug with High is available now on YouTube.
By the way, Gail and I love the people that we were on the show with that night. They were all fun.
Yeah, that was a great group.
Kate and Josh and I, they were great. I love those guys.
Yeah. Josh is a very funny comedian.
Killer.
Who,
He's so funny.
I had heard him, I think on Sirius or something and liked his stuff, and then saw one of his late night sets and looked him up on Twitter, and he was following me, so I reached out and said,
Sweet.
Come on Doug Loves Movies sometime, and he said that'd be great, and then then eventually it happened. And Kate McCucci I've known for forever because she's in that singing duo with Ricky Lindholm called Garfunkel and Oates.
Yeah.
Which shocked in another year where they did not get inducted into the Hall of Fame.
Yes, it happened
Those
again.
girls rock so hard.
Yeah.
They rock so much more than Joan Baez.
Yes.
I can't even, don't get me started.
Well, Joan Baez, you have the feeling, as soon as I heard they finally picked her, I'm like, oh, is she sick? You know what I mean? Like, right away.
Is she at death's door?
Yeah, you just worry about her. Because they're like, oh, we better honor her very fast.
I tell you, the people have been making fun of, I didn't hear your exact comments, Ron, but people have been making fun of ELO getting in.
Yes.
And, I'd put him in there just for Jeff Lynne being 1/4 of the Wilburys.
Yes, and
Or fifth.
also, yeah. And also Jeff Lynne, it's a known fact that he's a genius. He's a genius.
I also like ELO as well.
Right?
Like,
Yeah, Rich Voss, I heard Rich Voss on the phone. Don't they just have one hit? What?
Yeah.
Just one hit.
But
Come on.
Their first 4 albums, they probably didn't have any radio hits. And then they had like 7 or 8 hits after that. But people were like, but the albums aren't as good. They're starting to be, they're starting to think about singles.
It's a little sad that they were really hitting their stride with Xanadu.
Yes,
Hits
exactly.
wise.
Yeah.
'Cause every song on Xanadu was a top 40 hit.
Yeah. By the way, Gail had brought this topic up of people that ruin movies for you. Was that your?
Yes. So it's like a great movie, but one character spoils the movie.
And I told you to hold on to that because I just had this experience last night. I'm watching Saturday Night Fever, and the girl that he picks to be the great dancer is not a great dancer. She's nowhere near, not only is she nowhere near Travolta, she's nowhere near the little fat girl that only wanted to love him. That little fat girl's fucking amazing. She's my favorite thing in the movie.
She is great.
But do you ever notice that the girl is not a great dancer that he picks?
Yeah, she's just pretty, right? Like she's like a
Donna Pescow?
No, Donna Pescow is the little fat one, and she's adorable.
Oh, okay.
She's adorable. She put on she said 40 pounds to play that. They thought she was too cute to be in that. But the one at the end, you still see it every New York Comic-Con. You know who I'm talking about, Chris?
Yeah,
she's like a real Brooklyn girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen that movie in a while to comment on her dancing.
The racism in that movie.
It's crazy.
And as well as misogyny, rape takes place and it's not reported. Homophobia is terrible, smacking around black guys. But
it was super R-rated, that movie.
Yes, it was. And Travolta drops the M-bomb for no apparent reason.
Oh, yeah.
He does.
And you're just like, I can't fucking believe it. And then you just remember, oh yeah, it's Brooklyn in the 70s. They're terrible. They're terrible.
It really is a bizarre movie that the hero and every other character is pretty despicable and unlikable.
Awful. I mean, a gang rape takes place.
Yeah. But then we got to dance.
Yeah. Hey, I love you out on the dance floor. You're like unbelievable. You still, to this moment, can't find the girl's name.
Lisa Peluso?
That seems right. Lisa Peluso, not a great dancer.
Lisa Peluso.
Not a great dancer.
All right, the one that made me think of this is a movie I like a lot. I'll always watch it. That Thing You Do. There is a character who is the bellman, who is a wise black guy who gives him advice and you got to go to this jazz club. And it's just like he feels so shoehorned into the movie.
Is that Bill Cobb's?
If it's
not, it should be.
Yeah. At the end of the movie, he looks at the camera.
He breaks the fourth wall and gives a wink to the audience things are going to be okay. And nothing in that movie is like that at all. It's like, if you think about putting a magical black man in your script who has all the answers, maybe just rethink what you're saying.
Rethink that idea?
Yeah.
He did get the white people together.
He gets them together. He makes sure that the girl's taken care of. He sends them to the right jazz club.
Get in the cab. Get your ass in the cab.
And I'm like, why does this exist in this nice little
Everything else in the movie is pretty perfect. Yeah. Everything else in the movie is perfect. My favorite character, I think, in the whole movie though, is Kevin Pollak. Hey, Pittsburgh! How you sleeping?
He does
lots of little dance.
Yeah, man.
And of course, the classic thing that was cut from the film, Tom Hanks's character.
The gay part?
Gay.
Yeah.
Really?
So now when I watch it, I just try to see hints of gayness.
Right.
And they don't really come through, do they?
There's a little tiny thing where
he pats all their butts?
Yeah.
On the way out.
I don't think
Good set.
Good job, Shades.
He didn't have any interest in the kids, but when he was with the Captain Geach and
the shrimp shack shooters,
there was an attractive man sitting next to him that they made eyes for a second. But the person that he was gay with in the movie that they cut is Howie Long, the football player. That there was a scene where Howie Long picks him up in a sports car and they go off, and there's no fucking reason for it whatsoever. You know what I mean? It doesn't move the story
I mean, maybe this would make the Bellman less bizarre. I mean, like, just adding these.
By the way, there's tons of great the Paul Feig when he's the DJ. No kids, not those mop tops. And he's in it for like 8 seconds, and it's just fucking great. Yeah, just put your headphones down, boys.
Found some room for Peter Scolari in there.
Yeah, nice Peter Scolari moment.
Yeah, it's that's one of those movies that if it's on cable and I'm flipping by it, I'm stopping, and that's where I'm going to stay for a while.
Doesn't matter that I'm like, oh, I missed the first 40 minutes. Nope, I'm fine. Here's the other thing. Never do I get sick of the song, and they play it 9 times.
I was going to say, name another movie where we could get away with playing the same song that many times.
And like every time it comes on, you're like, thank God they're playing it again.
Yeah. You do that thing you do. I'm like, no wonder this was a hit in 1964. This fucking song is great.
Can you imagine if they came up with a shitty song for that?
Yeah.
That movie would really tank that movie.
It rides on just that song.
Do you ever notice who his, the Tom Hanks lookalike guy who, the drummer that gets it going, his girlfriend in Pittsburgh?
Who is his girlfriend in Pittsburgh? I'm trying to remember. You're right. It is.
She went on to become a very famous South African movie star.
Charlize Theron?
Yep.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's
and she's it's like one of her first roles, and she's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you're just like, why does dude leave her behind in Erie, PA?
Well, she's all snooty about she doesn't believe in his music.
Yeah, she doesn't really
She's
care.
like annoyed that she has to go see them.
Yeah.
Play their bad set or whatever.
That dude is he's Spartacus. That actor Tom Everett Scott plays Emma Stone's husband in La La Land. And some people, and they're walking by a jazz club and he goes, let's go check this out. And they go in and watch some jazz. So people like to say that that's his character's grown up and now doesn't play anymore, but still has a fondness for jazz. And that's why that's why he takes her there.
Mind fuck for me. I love this. I love this.
This is going to make me watch La La Land.
Yeah.
Oh no. Sorry.
You haven't seen it yet?
I watched the first, and I never ever do this. I fell asleep.
Oh, okay.
With 10 minutes
It's very soothing. Especially after the first 10 minutes, because the two most rockin' numbers are the first 10 minutes, and then it gets mellow pretty much for the rest of it.
Right asleep like a little baby, and then just woke up to the sounds of credits, and I'm like, what happened?
You know what? While we're all having this fun, I just got some really sad news. Should I just put it off so we can keep enjoying ourselves?
Is it really sad news?
Well, it's an older person who died that we all love. Don Rickles just died.
No!
Yeah, that breaks my heart.
Oh, no.
One of my first favorite comedians. When I was like, one of the things where I know I'm staying up tonight, Don Rickles is going to be doing the Carson show.
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
That's a bad one.
Yeah,
Thanks, Ron.
Yeah, I know. I feel terrible about
so fun. We're talking
You should have said it right at the very end of the show.
I know. But I didn't know. I wanted you guys to know.
Don Rickles is dead. Right into Tiny Dancing.
This one goes out to Don Rickles.
Wait, what happened?
Have you ever seen Rickles perform?
Oh my God, I have been made fun of by Rickles on stage and off.
Wow.
I've been in the same space, same area where he is like 3 times. And the first time was when I went to see him in Vegas with a bunch of friends. We were sitting up front, and you know how the table, you're like on the stage sometimes at those shows. Like I'm just sitting there, like right there. And I can't quote him precisely, but he asked me something and I laughed, and I'm pretty sure he said, "What are you, retarded?" and brought the house down. And then remember when he was on Comic Relief?
Yeah.
And he did the most craziest thing where his microphone wasn't working, so a stagehand brought him another microphone, and this is live from the Universal Amphitheater, hands him a new microphone and starts to walk away, or before the guy can walk away, Don Rickles takes the old broken microphone, tosses it off into the wings and says, "Fetch." To the black man who brought him the new microphone. It was scary, horrifying.
Yeah.
But then, after his set, I was standing around in the, backstage area where everyone's just milling around, and I went up to him and I shook his hand and I said, "You're amazing, you're my favorite," or whatever. And then he put his other hand on it and then wouldn't let go of my hand and started saying to everyone standing around in the backstage area at the show, "Hey, this guy says I'm amazing. I think I'm going to make it." I just really made a big deal out of it. I was like, oh my God.
First of all, that's the funniest fucking line. I think I'm going to make it now. That was exciting. He's just making fun of other people's enthusiasm. You know what I mean? The fact
he'll tear into you for anything.
Yeah. The fact that some people have dreams.
Yeah. Oh, so yeah, he was a good one.
Oh, he was amazing comic. It was like one of my first adult dates that I took a girl to see Rickles in the round, and it was so fucking funny. I'm seeing white light, right? But I had a thing of terror of, please don't let him make fun of me in front of this girl that I'm impressing right now by taking her to the Valley Forge Theater in the Round. But I remember thinking, even as I'm sitting there, I wonder what he'll get me for. You know what I mean? Is it my hair? Is that the fucking stupid thing about me? Like, I literally was just ready to be pummeled because he's doing it to the entire. I mean, we're at Theater Around. 80% of the people he must have crowd worked.
Right.
And during that thing, there was a woman that had to be 400 pounds sitting in the front fucking thing. And I remember the show opened with an orchestra, and the guy who was doing it was a singer, one of those old school singers. He looks at her and he goes, "You're not staying there, are you? You're not going to stay in that seat." And the whole fucking place exploded laughing, knowing who it was.
Right.
And when Rickles comes out and he sees her, he yells something like, "Holy fuck." And he drops the microphone and runs towards her and dives on her and starts dry humping her like a dog. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen. And I think he yelled out, "It feels like I'm screwing a waterbed." But, the other thing he brought, it was one of the funniest things that I've seen in my entire life. He brought two people out of the audience, and I'll use Gail and Chris as an example.
Okay.
And he did some kind of dumb improv with them, and then he goes, "Gail, if you'd like, I want you to come backstage after the show, and we'll have a drink, and we'll have our picture taken together." And everybody in the place was like, "Oh my God." That's how much people loved them. They're like, "This is amazing." And he goes, "Chris, I want you to get a chance to see that picture." And he sends that guy away. And it was so fucking funny to me. And I'm like a kid, I'm like 15 or 16. I'm like, how can anyone be? How could anyone have thought of a line that fucking hilarious? He was amazing. His best friend, Bob Newhart. And
it's sadder for Bob Newhart than anybody right now.
Yeah.
Because what's he going to do?
And they say in real life, Newhart was the more vicious, dark comedy guy.
And were you telling me they're so close, they vacation together?
Vacation, the wives, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Newhart was actually telling me some of that stories of, they couldn't have been, they're just the exact opposite, personality-wise. And they loved each other, crazy about each other.
So sad.
I know. That's the worst. When you lose a buddy of 60 years,
How old was he?
He had to be well into his 80s, right? Well.
Maybe more.
Yeah.
And performed probably within the last week.
Yeah.
To the end.
Yeah, right to the end. Who were we just they'd done a thing. Oh, it's Robert Klein.
Oh yeah,
he's in his documentary. Yeah. And he's with, and fucking Rickles is hilarious.
Yeah.
And you see that he's not getting up, he's sitting in a chair, they're not, having to move around and all. And
just ball busting.
Is this it for you?
Yeah.
Just a career?
Yeah.
Connor, I introduced him yesterday as Colin again. It's a better name for you. Why don't you go with Colin? It's more of a rock name.
What coffee shop do you go to for these waters?
It's cold brew.
I like drinking anything out of this style of cup because I like the little hole in the side.
Yeah, it is nice. It's like
soak it through like you're a little pet.
Like a little hamster.
Yeah, it's like a little hamster thing, but it's like a little supercharger too. You know what I mean? You're like, I get the water faster than I ever imagined.
But not too much of it. You can't drink too much. You can't guzzle it with that thing.
No. You got to take your time killing this.
It's safe. Way.
Well, spill.
The amount of people who are not just confused by the fact that we have it in coffee cups, but suspicious of it. Like when we'll drop the cup.
Some people get angry about it.
And they're like, what is this?
What the fuck is
Why
that?
have you given me this thing?
Just water.
They get mad.
And some people
Is this
even
coffee? I didn't order a coffee.
Some people will even open just to be like, I don't believe that anyone.
Yeah.
No person
I just started drinking. I didn't even think about it.
Smart.
Could have been hot coffee.
Smart. Could have been really boiling hot fucking alcohol for an alcoholic. Here's a shot. I don't know whether you drink or not. Here's a shot.
I think hands down, everybody can agree the worst character ruining a movie is Chris Tucker in Fifth Element.
As the DJ?
I don't know.
You like that? You like it? You like it?
He's like Prince in it, right?
Just a lot of screaming. He just screams even more than normal.
Stop it, I'm scared.
And he's got crazy hair and he minces around. Maybe it's just my homophobia.
Or racism.
It comes from nowhere, that character.
Yeah. It's weird.
I'm not saying I'm right, it's just my opinion.
I think you might get a little blowback on this one.
Vito, what about for you? Character that ruined the movie for you?
I think Short Round really takes away from the legitimacy.
Wow! Short Round!
I think it takes away a lot from...
Mr. Jones!
Hit it. Step on it, Shorty. Okie dokie, Dr. Jones. Hang on to your potatoes.
No time for love, Dr. Jones.
Wow, that actually, you nailed that. That was scary. Save that for Thanksgiving if Johnny ever wants
that's two from one movie then.
That's fine. That's
he no nuts. He crazy.
Okay, do the woman from that.
So this is Kate Capshaw. This is a one-line impression.
Like it already.
Oh my gosh! Is he nuts?
Was that the end of Kate Capshaw too?
You even look like her when you say it.
Did she just marry Spielberg after that and never worked again?
I think
she showed up in a few things, but yeah. It was,
I don't know what
definitely
else,
started trailing off around that point.
By the way, Alec Baldwin in his new book makes fun of Harrison Ford as a bad actor. That's the second kind of star that I've seen say that Harrison Ford can't act.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think Harrison Ford has a lot of gears. I don't think he has a complex palette of emotions.
He jumps. I mean,
but he's very good at saying something and smirking after it, or saying something like he really wants you to do it, but he's really mad about it. And fortunately, most of his roles call on him to do both those things.
Yeah.
I thought he was really good as the racist baseball team owner that just saw the practicality of having a black player in that movie 42.
Well, he didn't. Which guy did he? Wasn't Branch Rickey? Was that?
Yeah.
He played?
That's who it was.
Wow. Yeah. All right, Chris, give us the guy who ruined the movie for you.
Jar Jar Binks in a movie of fucking ridiculous character.
He's not an actor.
Terrible.
He's not an actual actor.
He's done some really great stuff, Chris.
Yeah. And to me, by the
leave
way,
him at best alone.
Yeah. To me, he was the best thing in that movie. Everything else sucked.
He gave you something in that movie to be passionate about. The rest of it's so boring.
Yeah, I mean, if you take out Jar Jar, and like, I'm not going to say Jar Jar's good, but what's left? The pod race? Like what else?
That was pretty exciting though. Who's
You
gonna
have
win the pod race?
you have one good Darth Maul fight. It's a good fight scene. There's a good.
That was his only fight scene too, I think.
Yeah, and then other than that, it's Jar Jar. It's Jar Jar's movie.
All right, someone wrote this to us that they thought that Bane ruined the movie, and
Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah, and I know that you play Bane in the.
Yeah, it's true. Maybe they mean that Bane ruined Lego Batman.
No,
that was hurtful.
Yeah,
that's hurtful.
Made Lego Batman.
But I tortured you guys the other night by making Lego Batman be the answer in almost every round of Ron Bennington.
Well,
that's the thing. Some people, like you, catch on.
Yeah.
But most comedians and actors that come on my show do not. Catching on is not part of their thing.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times
it's not their vibe.
They're just thinking I'm sitting in front of a large audience,
and I don't know the answer.
Yes, I don't know the answer to something.
Can I tell you it did save me for an answer once, but I'm gonna admit something that I didn't find out until after the show. So you say one of the questions was Rafe Fiennes,
right?
Which I said in my mind, I have no idea who that is because I know who Ray Fiennes is.
You always thought his name was Ray?
And I thought his name was, because I heard you say Rafe, and then I was like, I think he said Rafe Hines, and I was like, that's weird, it really sounds like Ray Fiennes, but I don't want to embarrass myself and say a Ray Fiennes movie.
Yeah, when you started talking about his brother, I thought you really were more familiar with the work of Joseph Fiennes than Rafe, who's a massive international star, and his brother is a good actor who was in Shakespeare in Love.
By the way, we had Rafe in one time, right?
Yeah.
And he is so intense. The way that he locked eyes with you and we were talking about something, one of his eyes watered up as if he was so sensitive and touched by it. And I thought to myself, I bet I could sleep with Rafe Fiennes. I bet if I had to be with one of the Fiennes brothers, I would shock everybody and take the one with the hair lip. But he was intense, wasn't he?
Yeah. Those British guys are really intense. Jeffrey Rush was also really fucking intense.
Why do you have to move on? It's almost like racism when you're just bringing up now every
all British people are the same.
I'm talking about one individual, you know?
Just Rafe.
I remember one day I brought up Magic Johnson to you and you're like, yeah, like Flavor Flav too, right?
What?
You're a fucking racist.
How does that relate?
Yeah.
There's a really good Bane walking around in Times Square.
Is that right?
I've seen him a couple times now, and I'm a little scared to ask him for a picture because he's such an intimidating. I don't know. I don't know. But he's got big arms, and he's got the mask looks good, and the costume's not bad. You know, most of the costumes over there look like they, slept in a dumpster.
Yeah, a lot of them are smallpox blankets.
I would be willing to stand behind him and do Bane while he just looks like Bane.
Oh, yeah, that's not a bad idea.
I put on the mask.
But yeah, I love that character in that movie. Like, I thought he and Catwoman were the only interesting characters. Everybody else in that universe got pretty boring in that one.
Yeah.
And of course I did my Bane impression ad nauseum to the point of the director finally saying, "Why don't you be Bane in in Batman Lego?"
Yeah, just do it.
Yeah. And when I recorded it, it was in September of last year. And as I was leaving, I go, "When's this movie come out?" And they go, "February 10th. And I was like, okay. And then around February 3rd is when they announced that I was Bane in the movie. And all that time I didn't tell anybody because I was so worried that they just decide, well, why don't we get Tom Hardy to do this? Why are we fucking around? Ray Fiennes is in this thing. And then, then they have, what's his name? Eddie Izzard plays Dumbledore, not Dumbledore, Voldemort in that movie. So they did lots of wacky things like that. So, I was just grateful that, after I recorded it, they didn't go, oh, that works. That's fine.
That could always happen,
Let's just
right?
keep it. Yeah, they could bring somebody else in. So I didn't tell anybody because I don't want to be walking around saying I'm Bane and Lego Batman and then it doesn't really happen.
Right.
That's like a girlfriend in Canada situation.
And then everyone's like, oh, that's Doug. He always lies about being a Lego Batman.
So sad though, right? Like, I feel bad for him.
Doug Benson's in studio. Doug Loves Movies is happening at the Nerd Melt Showroom in Los Angeles, April 9th and 11th. Go to DougLovesMovies.com for tickets and all additional dates. And Getting Doug with High is available now on YouTube.
Yeah, and I need to do a special mention of, we're doing a Getting Doug with High live in front of an audience at a rock club called the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano, California on April 20th. So also go to DougLovesMovies.com for a link to get tickets to that.
Do you know who you're going to be getting high with, or you wait?
You know, I got some ideas, but it's, like all of my shows, you were discussing this recently, I don't, reveal who the guests are going to be. So that way the audience can either be delightfully surprised or not too disappointed.
Yes. Yeah.
As soon as you say someone's coming, like last year, I had a episode of the show was coming up and I really wanted people to attend. So I just let the cat out of the bag. Goose out of the bag. Yeah, I let the cat out of the bag. There was a bag with a goose and a cat in it and one of them had to go. And I went with the cat and, I said, Emil Hirsch is going to be on. The show, because a publicist had reached out and he was promoting a new movie, and then people started writing me on Twitter about how he attacked a woman. He had some sort of thing that it had gotten by me, and I didn't know if he went to jail for it or what happened or probation or I don't know what the deal is. But he attacked like a studio head. He like choked a studio head at a party at Sundance. A few years ago. Mm-hmm. So I could start getting these messages from people, how can you have that guy in your show? And I was like, well, I mean, if he's not in prison, then right. I guess it all worked out. I don't know who was right or wrong, but he's in a lot of movies I like. I'm still pro Emil Hirsch. Yeah. Then he cancels. So he calls unrelated to the people reaching out to me. So, then I tried a couple of times to reschedule it, started calling it Emil Hirsch Watch on the show, and then more and more stuff kept coming in about this. And then just recently I gave up on it completely because, he got cast in a TV show at Paramount, the same studio with the lady executive that he choked. And, they fired him from the show because some executive at Paramount went, wait a second, we hired who to be in our show? That's the one place he shouldn't be able to work. You know? And, so when that story broke, I was just like, well, he's never going to come on my podcast anyway. Cause it's the kind of podcast where if you got stuff you don't want to talk about, one of the comedians on the panel is going to ask it up. Yeah. They're going to make it a problem. But I made a game for you guys if you want to play a game today.
Sure.
You know, whenever.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay. Hit the theme, Chris.
Shit.
Just make up a theme quickly, Chris, off the top of your head.
It's a new Doug Benson game.
No, it's weird. It's Ron Bennington's.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah.
By the way, did you notice that the other contestants felt like we were cheating because I was in it? And I'm like...
They were suspicious that
like,
the game was named after.
People are always confused by the simplest of things.
Yeah.
The game is named after you because it was your idea.
Not because I'm actually good at it.
Like, the guy who thought of Jeopardy, Merv Griffin, probably not even the top 100 players of all time.
No, not a good Jeopardy player.
But it was his idea.
Yes.
Or wait, Wheel of Fortune was his idea. He produced both, but... I think Wheel was Merv just going, hey, this game Hangman, does anybody own it? Nope. Yeah. Okay. We're going to make it into a game show. Call it Wheel of Fortune.
I do give him credit for not just calling it Hangman, which I would have done immediately. All right, it's time to play Hangman.
If you don't get the puzzle right, you're dead. All right. So for the listeners that may not be familiar with how this works exactly, Chris, you going to play too?
I'll play, yeah.
All right, cool.
It's great to have you.
Thank you.
Welcome.
I hate just pitting these two against each other.
Well, you know, Chris also was introduced from the audience the other night, and you looked, for some reason, it looked like your arms were really long when you waved at everybody. And I remember thinking, I've never noticed that.
Were the sleeves extra pushed up? Or
the right, you're so wet. The left, you're barely wet at all.
It's so weird. And the right ear waxes spills, the left doesn't.
He sweats from the right pit and has an earwax issue.
The right side of my body's all fucking out of whack.
It's weird. Did you bring that up to them?
That was the shoulder that was messed up
That
too?
was the shoulder and the knee that's fucked up.
Your whole right side is garbage, dude.
The right ear is more stuffed than the left?
Yeah.
Wow.
There were layers of earwax in the right, barely anything in the left.
It's really weird and gross.
Right hand man, the Chris Stanley story.
Right hand man.
I like that.
Okay,
Is the name of this game? Right hand man?
Basically how this works is the box office mojo, as Ron pointed out to me initially and how this whole thing started, likes to list movies after how they did after they're adjusted for inflation, and they list them by actors. So I'll name an actor. Each of you get a crack at, how do we decide who goes first?
You know what? Let's give it to Chris. Since
that's a good idea.
So long.
He seems like, it feels to me like he's the underdog here.
He
so
is.
Yes.
He is. We both, he's my bastard son. You know?
So in this first round, Chris will go first, and then Gail, and then Ron, and we'll go.
Great.
We'll go rotate around so that each of you gets to go first, and if we have a tiebreaker, then Chris gets to go first again.
Okay.
And 3 points for if you name the movie that came in first for that particular actor, 2 for 2, and 1 for 3, and no points if you fail.
Okay.
Starting with Chris Stanley.
It's exciting.
That's you, Chris.
That's me. Should I go?
Yeah, the great mentioned earlier, Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
What do you think's in her top 3? Go for the top 1 if you can think of it.
Les Mis.
Okay, Chris is going with Les Mis.
Les Mis for Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Okay.
Gail.
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway.
Brokeback Mountain.
Okay.
Well, I think that we already brought it up, and it was the Dark Knight Rises, right? Where she was Catwoman.
Is that your answer?
That is my answer.
Okay, we got Les Mis, Brokeback Mountain, and Dark Knight Rises. Coming in at number 3, Interstellar.
Interstellar. I didn't know it even did that big.
That was
That's
a big
great.
one.
Yeah.
That was a really big one.
Yeah. Odd movie.
I dare to say that.
Yeah. We're in the bookcases. I mean, I don't know how that
Dust.
happened. Yeah.
There's been a few space movies lately, like, know, like the hilarious comedy The Martian, and so many of those lately that have just completely, I'm done with the genre. Like, I don't
need it anymore.
That new one, Life, came out. I'm like, first it's a game, then it's a serial, then it's a movie with Martin Lawrence. Make up your minds on Life! All right. Number 2. Alice in Wonderland from 2010.
Forgot.
Yeah, that was massive. So big. And then coming in at number 1, and is a great example of the attention factor. Chris and Gail both missed out on those big points for Dark Knight Rises.
Damn it. Damn it.
All right, so Ron's screaming into the lead with 3 points, but still anybody's game.
I don't know. Seems like I'm running away with this one.
Said Les Mis like an idiot.
Gail?
Okay.
Mia Wasikowska.
Mia Wasikowska.
Mia Wasikowska.
I'm a big fan of her work.
She's good.
Oh, Mia.
She's good.
God, so much she's been in.
You got a pass?
Chris, why don't you just show us what if this is cheating of Chris?
Yeah, what are you doing over there?
Maybe.
Just a picture.
How do you spell the last name?
I don't even sure if I pronounce it right.
Because I think
Wasikowska.
I know who she is.
Wska. She's like almost, if it's possible, a frailer Rooney Mara.
Yeah.
A frailer.
She came in that, I think she was in that TV show where they all went to a therapist.
Okay.
On HBO for a while.
Yeah. Okay. I know she was in Alice in Wonderland.
Yes.
So that's the only thing I think I can think of her in.
Okay.
Alice in Wonderland.
Ron, do you have anything?
Big fan.
Well, there was a second of those, The Looking Glass, Alice Through the Looking Glass, I'll take that.
Okay.
I still don't recognize her looking at her face, so I'm going to just pick an ensemble film and hope she's in it.
Oh, smart.
Love Actually.
Oh, no.
She was
not.
so
They
good in
were,
that.
I think there was one. I don't even know what she is. Is she British? Is she English?
I don't think she is, and she's not in that movie.
Rolled the dice there. She could be
But that was a good. It was a good method.
But I do like pixie hair, so extra points for that.
Coming in at number 3, motion pictures he was in with I think the aforementioned Tom Hardy, Lawless.
Ooh.
I think that had a LaBeouf in it too.
Yeah.
A little LaBeouf. But number 2, Ron was right. Alice Through the Looking Glass.
Well, I got that from
She's
Gail,
up to
really,
5
knowing
points.
that she got the first one.
Right? Right? But at least Gail, there's the learning curve there.
Yeah.
Because you figured out, number 1, Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
After adjusting for inflation, $363 million that movie made domestically. How nuts is that?
Too much money, really.
Yeah, way too much. All right, so Ron has 5 and Gail has 3, and Chris is virtually out of it.
Yeah, you're just about done, but you're in it. You're playing. Though.
At least I'm
You get to
inside
play.
the game.
You are
You're
involved.
Thank you.
Ron gets to go first.
Yeah.
The films of Mr. Jonathan Depp.
John Depp. Now it's a matter, I mean, first of all, he's a giant star. I'm going to guess it's one of the Pirates films. So I'm just going to go with the first one. Or should I go with the second one?
Which one do you know the whole title?
I'm going to say Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest.
Okay.
That's the title I know. But by the way, this is a phenomenal question because he's done so many movies that where do you put it?
It's ridiculous.
You know? Where do you put it? Chris, you're next.
Pirates of the Caribbean, Curse of the Black Pearl.
Good
okay.
Okay. God damn it. That was the only other title I knew. I know I'm guaranteeing that all 3 of his are Pirates of the Caribbean.
You shouldn't because there's been a theme here. There has been a theme.
Yeah, but do you think...
Or should she?
Yeah, but like that's the thing. I am aware that that's a possibility. I'll throw it in there. I'll say Alice in Wonderland, but I'm not confident of it. I bet that it's all 3.
That's the best way to lose any competition is to announce that you don't think you're gonna don't think it's gonna be right. That's why they phrase all the answers as a question on Jeopardy. All right, coming in at number 3, Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End.
Oh, shit.
At number 2, Pirates of the Caribbean, The Curse of the Black Pearl.
All right, on the board.
So Chris got 2, he's got 2 points.
All right, feeling good.
And number 1, Ron did it, Pirates of the Caribbean, Dead Man's Chest. Dead Man's Chest. And yeah, that's the gag there was I was hoping somebody would fall for the Alice in Wonderland thing.
I know for sure.
I knew that it was all 3. I knew that it had to
Those
be
movies
all
are
3.
so huge.
Yeah.
That's why they keep making them now. There's going to be what's this next one coming out?
I don't understand a single one
soon.
either. And I'm like, how do children follow this? Because I'm an adult man and I don't know what's happening in
I'm
this
just
film.
shocked you knew Dead Man's Chest. I was like, the only one I knew was Pearl, the Black Pearl.
Yeah.
Was that the first or the...
Impressive.
Yeah.
That's the second. I was going to say Dead Man's Pearl until you said Dead Man's Chest.
Can't everything be Dead Man's?
Round 1, but let's do one more for fun.
Sure. One more for fun.
It's a tiebreaker, but we don't need it.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what?
like
I'll just put my title on the line.
Okay, great.
I'm willing to risk my title.
All the marbles
Whoever
on this
yes.
one.
Yeah.
All right, but you get to, Chris gets to go first.
Oh, this is
Okay.
intense. This is fucking intense.
Alan Rickman.
Ooh. Alan Rickman.
I'm going to say
The subject is Alan Rickman.
Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince.
Holy shit.
I am going to say Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay.
Oh, shit.
I'll just say, first of all, I want to take back my championship. As soon as I heard because I was going to say the Deathly Hallows. The Deathly Hallows, but I would have said Half-Blood Prince first.
Full title?
Isn't it Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. Is that it? Prisoner of Azkaban.
And his dead man's chest.
Order of the Phoenix.
Okay, so the first one.
Yes.
Okay.
They're all there. No, there's 2 Deathly Hallows,
I love
right?
how this, yes. I love how this played out. Ron, you get to keep your championship. Because the top 3 are 3 Harry Potter movies that you didn't name. No one named any of them.
Oh, shit!
Number 3 is Harry Potter the Goblet of Fire. Number 2, Harry Potter the Deathly Hallows Part 2.
Yeah.
And then number 1, the first one, and it's probably because of this whole adjusted for inflation business, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Oh, that makes sense.
Goddamn adjustment.
Yeah.
Which I saw recently at Radio City with a full orchestra playing the entire score.
Was it
That
fantastic?
sounds cool.
Yeah, because it's it's my least favorite Harry Potter movie, and I like Harry Potter fine, but I'm not like hugely into it. But when I heard that they'd have the whole orchestra there playing John Williams' score, I was like, that sounds like fun. And then I went, and it turned out it was really fun. Yeah, really interesting to see the screen, and then just below it, they're just playing the whole time, every piece that happens in it.
I heard that they do that with the Bugs Bunny stuff, and they'll play bum 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 bum, and they're playing
really
Bugs
neat.
Bunny on the fucking screen.
That's
I'm
awesome.
like, I'll do anything.
I'll see almost
really cool.
anything that way now.
Yeah.
Now that I got through the first Harry Potter movie, a bunch of dumb little kids.
Do you have a favorite one?
It's the one you said, the Azkaban.
Yeah, I
and
think
that's
the
where the
best
movies got good. I felt.
Yeah.
Like the first 2 were a little rough because it was just more like just as direct an adaptation as they can make instead of making some interesting choices.
And plus, it gets a little bit more grown up as it goes on.
And part 2's got way too much Dobby in it. That goddamn house elf. Oh my god.
Racist.
But it's funny because then when he comes back in Deathly Hallows Part 2, it's a very emotional situation with him. Like I suddenly liked the character a lot, even though I thought I hated him.
Yeah, it's very.
If Jar Jar Binks had just died, maybe he could have turned shit around.
I agree. I agree.
Those kids who grew up with that massive hit that they're a part, they all grew up to be like fine people. None of them grew up to be like junky assholes, or you know what I mean. They're just like good, and they're all good actors.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah, and she's in the now this Beauty and the Beast things are one of the biggest things ever. Like you, most people in that situation would spend their whole lives hoping to have something half as big.
Danny Partridge. You're spending the rest of your life like, the fuck? When can I get that thing back? No one ever said to Danny, you were lucky to be in anything, dude. You weren't that good. Stop having your feelings hurt.
Doug Benson's in studio. Doug Loves Movies, featuring Ron and Gail Bennington, Kate McCucci, Josh Gondelman, and Nia Cash, is available for download now on iTunes and DougLovesMovies.com. And Doug Loves Movies is happening at the Nerd Melt Showroom in Los Angeles, April 9th and 11th. Again, go to DougLovesMovies.com for all additional dates. And Getting Doug with High is happening live at the Coach House, April 20th in California, San Capistrano. Go to DougLovesMovies.com.
Where is it?
San Capistrano.
San Juan Capistrano, but I was impressed that you took note of it when I said it earlier.
I love the fact that, Chris, you struggle with the term movies pretty hard.
Movies.
Doug loves
movies. Doug loves movies.
Did it make you feel like you didn't understand the word?
It made me feel like I didn't understand the English language.
He was trying to choose between movies or moving pictures.
I do the same thing. That if something sounds odd to me, that's done for me. Like I have no idea how to circle back around and correct myself. I go, maybe I said it the right way. Maybe it is. All these years there's been movies. I don't know.
Movies.
Yeah. Is this going to be a good movie year? Is there anything that we're looking forward to this year?
I haven't seen any trailers.
Yeah, what is like kind of
the new Edgar Wright is very good. I saw it at Sundance. I mean,
love Edgar Wright.
Baby Driver.
Baby Driver is very good. It was going to come out in August, but I think everybody loved it so much at South by that now it's June 28th.
Edgar Wright has never made a single thing that I'm not a fan of.
Right?
Everything that he's done.
Yeah, he's solid. So this one you can add it to the list, especially a person who likes music and interesting choices in music. Because you heard the premise of the movie?
No.
The baby driver is the getaway driver. He's a kid. He's like 19.
Yeah.
He drives the getaway car, and he's kind of on the spectrum, and he listens to music when he's driving a getaway, and he has to have a specific song that he wants to hear playing as he drives. So every chase scene in the movie is set to a different song from, not necessarily songs people know, but I'm
looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Songs by a bunch of different artists. And then Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, I'm very much looking forward to. And I don't know what else. I don't pay attention. I try to ignore trailers now, so I'm a little less aware of what's coming. Things just sort of open and I go, oh, that looks good.
Yeah, I feel like I have to cut trailers out because my biggest problem was Get Out is I saw the trailer and even while I was watching, I was going, I know too much. Why do I know so much? And then I thought it was a great movie, but at the end I was like, I saw a good portion of that movie in the trailer. I mean, there were moments towards the end of the film that are in the trailer.
It's just it's just the highlights reel of moments. And if you have any kind of memory, if you watch trailers while paying attention, which is what I would do, because why are you watching it if you're not paying attention to it? You just like the last Star Wars is a great example. The Force Awakens. In the trailer, there's a shot of Finn and Oscar Isaac's character Poe meeting up and shaking hands, all happy, about to get into some fighters. And it's just like there's a point in the movie where you think Poe is dead and that they're never going to see each other again.
Right.
And I'm going, I saw that scene in the trailer. I know he's not dead. And it's just aggravating to be a know-it-all when you're just sitting there in a movie theater.
Yeah.
When you brought up Guardians of the Galaxy, I don't know if Kurt Russell has ever done anything that I wasn't happy with. You know what I mean? Like, even if he's in a bad movie, he's still Kurt Russell.
Right.
Yeah, he really is. Yeah. He brings it every damn time. I'm never like, oh, Kurt Russell really, he was one of the weaker parts of that. You just don't say that. He's the best part of everything. And then sometimes he's in things that are great.
Yeah. Occasionally he'll be in a great movie, but even if the movie's not great, you're like, well, this is very watchable. Thanks to Kurt Russell.
Did you check out Deepwater Horizon?
No.
He's in it.
And you love him.
He's great. Him and Mark Wahlberg and John Malkovich sitting around arguing about whether or not the rig is safe.
Yeah.
Money in the bank.
Listen to Kurt, please. And his kid is amazing in that other movie, Vito, Everybody Wants Some, which I brought up the other night. His kid is fucking great in this. Yeah.
I really want to see that. I was going to watch it last night, but I'm going to...
But I feel bad this year that Goldie is doing a movie with Amy Schumer and not Kate Hudson.
Yeah.
I always wanted to see them play mother and daughter.
It is kind of odd that never happened. And but I guess Amy went to Goldie with this idea and script, and so that's how it all happened. So it'd be weird for her to go, yeah, Amy, this is great, but I want to do it with Kate.
I have a real daughter. That would be perfect.
I'm not comfortable with that.
And also, Amy and Goldie seem more alike than Kate. And they seem like, especially because Amy is so probably inspired by Goldie, whereas Kate just had to live in her shadow the whole time.
Well, they do have a lot in common, though, because I've masturbated to both of them.
They have that connection.
So if I met them, I'd be like, oh, this is odd with the three of us all together. I don't want anyone to get their feelings hurt because I also have to Kurt. So, but never to the Hudson brother, who was Kate's actual dad, which is odd.
Really?
Yeah. The fact that her dad is a Hudson brother is insane.
When I was a kid, I loved the Hudson brothers.
And Emu, remember?
Yeah, Rod Hull and his Emu. Yeah. Every time was the same fucking thing. It would just get out of control, and they'd flail all over the place and knock everything over, and they'd have to cut the act short.
Yeah, and I'd be happy as hell. Oh, he can't control that puppet at all.
He's got a Chris Stanley arm in that puppet.
Oh, is that a good thing or bad? I haven't seen it.
I don't know.
It's just accurate, I guess.
I don't even know if it's accurate.
We gotta wrap this one up.
Doug Benson's been in the studio. Doug loves movies.
And we love Doug.
Yeah.
Yes, thanks for having me in and for doing my show. And
Doug Loves Movies is happening at the Nerd Melt
Sorry,
showroom.
I didn't mean to interrupt my plugs.
Doug Loves
Go ahead, Chris.
Doug Loves Movies is happening in the Nerd Melt showroom in Los Angeles, April 9th and 11th. Go to DougLovesMovies.com for tickets and all additional dates. Getting Doug with High is available on YouTube, and there's going to be a live show of Getting Doug with High at the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano, California, April 20th.
Chris, could you plug the Unmasked that I have tickets for in Austin?
And Unmasked with Eddie Pepitone. That's happening Saturday, April 22nd.
Love him. Me too.
At 6 p.m. at the Velveeta Room in Austin, Texas, as part of the Moon Tower Comedy Festival. Go to the interrobang.com for a chance at free tickets.
All right, that's it for us. We'll see you again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!